All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm just gonna tweet out real quick, and then we can get started. Such a good song. Um. Let's do that. Oops. Oh, no, that's not it. That's it. That's the one I'm looking for. Let's do some tags. Oops. What's up? Alright. Alright, let's do it. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Alright, let's get started. I've been playing a lot of Guild Wars 1, guys. So with the with like us playing and then Secrets of the Obscure coming out and stuff, like I've been really like in the mood to play Guild Wars 1 a lot. So I actually made a dervish and I've been playing my dervish a lot. Because I never really got into dervish, and I'm actually trying to do like they added new skills for the anniversary, for like what, the 10th anniversary or something like that, 15th anniversary, whatever it was, I think 15th anniversary. They added new skills for each class, and there's one that deals with like energy management and stuff, which is for the dervish. And so I'm thinking about making like a spellcaster dervish. So I've been working on that a lot. I just kind of, I'm playing through the campaign. As you can see, I'm only level 19. I'm almost at level 20. But I'm just kind of playing through the campaign, and I'm gonna see if I can't make like a really cool spellcaster, like a dervish spellcaster. So, hey Jacob, how are you? Welcome. Oh, we have so much crap. We have so much crap here. Let's just deposit some of this. Yeah, I'm back in Ascalon City because of the short that released. I don't know if you guys saw that, but on Friday I released a short, and it had these guys in it, in that short, which was really cool. I'm gonna deposit all of these here. I don't think I need any of these. I'm gonna sell all of this. What do I have for a bow right now? Oh, I'm using that. Um, yeah, I would like to get a better bow at some point, but that's okay. I don't think it really matters right now, just because of what I'm trying to do with this guy. So energy is actually important for me, just because I'm trying to do like a beast mastery thing. So, um, but yeah, had all that open for my other. All right. So last episode we struggled to get to Kessex Peaks, to get to the tower. The tower is right there. We struggled so hard for like an hour. I struggled to get through it. I mean, it's such a, like, cursed land is such a mess to get through. Like, it's so weird because it lets you, like, there's no entrance up here for the cursed lands. So when you go down here, it's a dead end, and we're stuck in this dead end, right? So I had to go back out, and then I didn't actually go down this way. I actually went around, I think, like this way or whatever. We went in here, and then I went through here, and you have to go here, and then you go up here and up here, and then we had to go back down and all the way around. And then this was just like really tough because we're just like not really made for that. We were really not strong enough. But anyways, so we're gonna continue today with some fun beast mastery stuff. And yeah, we're only level 13. But that's okay. We don't need to go anywhere else. I don't know. Is there like there should be a main quest that lets me. Oh God, everyone's just like popping in. Um, I don't know if there's a main quest because we came. I don't know what he has. We did the Gates of Kryta, right? That was the last mission we did, which had us like kind of come down here. We rescued the little pig, and then down here by the I think it's like right here is a little plaza, which is like the entrance into Lion's Arch from the mountains. There's like a little gate right here, and we were blocked out. And they were like, "Hey, if you want entrance, like you have to go down to the beach and help Hablion, with some of the undead." So then, we ventured down the beach, and we had to do the bonus, which was like down by the water here. And we came back up, and we had to deposit wherever it was. Oh, we went up here, and then I went there. For the Orient text, right? And we talked about the Thaddeus Lamount, which is the like historian or whatever. Yeah, and then we went down the beach and we met Hablion down here at the beach, and we ventured into the swamplands up here. And we fought all the undead around here. And then they were like, "Okay, cool, you can come in now." And then went to Lion's Arch, and then I kind of was just like, whatever. No, that's not it. I think there is a main quest. I don't know. Maybe he has it. I'm not sure. Well, welcome everyone. I hope you're doing well. I haven't really worked much on videos, guys. I had I kind of a rough week, and Endless Request. Oh, there we go. I think this is it, right? Kryta quest. Oh, no, no, no. This is this is to go to factions, I think. Report to. I think this is it, right? Why, hello and welcome to Lion's Arch. I see you're another one who's been offered sanctuary here by the grace of the White Mantle Justicars. The White Mantle rules this kingdom, if you hadn't figured that out. So if you mean to stay here, you'd best report your presence officially. There's a barracks in Delasio Seaboard, just west of town. Talk to White Mantle Karia, and he'll sort things out for you. Yeah, the rifts thing is interesting. You know, I just my only I think I did comment on the Reddit post about it, where I just I don't know, I'm trying to play like devil's advocate. I'm trying to like understand both sides, right? And I understand where the player base is coming from with the complaints that they have about the rifts. I really do. The thing is, I think the trailer itself would have landed much better. I think it was on the. Did I talk about? Maybe it was on Discord. I'm not sure. But I talked about how I think the trailer would have landed better if it had been released with the post the day before. Like it's so weird because they do the blog post, which is like bare bones as is, and I've talked about this ad nauseum last time we played on Monday or whatever, because I talked about in detail like how I think they could enhance the blog post, what they could do better about them, involving the community and the partners and stuff. But then a day later they release a video, like a trailer, and I'm like, why didn't you release that with your blog post? Like, I feel like it would have landed a little bit better because, like a lot of people were saying, like, hey, the trailer was supposed to be exactly what they explained in the blog post. It wasn't supposed to be like anything extra. It wasn't supposed to be. So I'm like, but why didn't they release it together? Like, why didn't they release that trailer on the blog post? That to me didn't make any sense. And I think that's where a lot of animosity came from, because people were like, if you bundle those two together, people, yeah, wouldn't have been overwhelmed, but I feel like people wouldn't have been as pissed off. But yeah, I don't know. I did see them, and we'll see. I feel like we didn't get to see enough to really make a judgment call on whether it's good or not. I can't tell. I don't know. One more. We'll take the brawler. We need a tank. We need a tank. Look at Lion's Arch in Guild Wars 1. It has so many lions everywhere. There's a lion statue there. There's 2 lion statues here. There's 2 right above there. There's whatever these things are. Huh? the other lions. I mean, that's a lot of lions, right? I think. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I hope that we do get some interesting. It was a really strange choice, definitely. I think it was a very, very peculiar choice on their part on how everything goes. I have to say something that I thought about, and I don't know if this is like at all connected, but to me it's like there's some kind of correlation between the two things. But I feel like with the Secrets of the Obscure announcement and a lot of people maybe perhaps being disappointed as to what we're getting with the expansion, I feel like a lot of people are coming back to Guild Wars 1. Like I've been seeing so many more people going back to Guild Wars 1. Like a ton of people have been playing. Like every outpost I go to, there's at least like one person there doing something, walking around, playing the game maybe or whatever. Big outposts like Lion's Arch, Kamadan are like populated with people that are not just like selling things. They're actually like talking. They're like playing the game, walking around, doing stuff. Like it's very interesting. Which I love it, I guess, I love that. I love it. I could get Mox, but we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna deal with these guys. I'm not a huge fan of Mox in the team because he's the not that I dislike Dervish. I actually like Dervish a lot. Like the idea of Dervish is really cool. The problem is that he's so big. So in the group, he's always this massive thing, and he blocks my view all the time, and I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm just like, go away, Mox. Yeah, I guess that's true, right? I don't know. I would love for them to maybe use um whoa, died. He's dead. Our friend died. I don't know. One thing that I really wish is like, I like I said earlier, I've been playing through right now I'm playing through Nightfall a lot on a new character. And it's so interesting to see all the different kinds of enemies, and like I'd forgotten about a lot of them. And we never got to see any of them when we went to like Istan, or when we went to like any of the, like there's a lot of insect monsters, and there are a lot of like interesting monsters that we never got to see, unfortunately. So it really makes me hope that ArenaNet will not just have a Forge 2.0, but they will actually get some interesting. Wow, he died again. Jesus. My hope is that maybe perhaps we'll get something, um, some new enemy types that are just not a copy paste of something else, just with a new model. I'm like, oh man, kind of sick and tired of that. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't ever mind skill reusing. Like, if they reuse skills, I don't mind that at all. But I just think the animations, if you have the same character, like if you have or different characters use the same animation constantly, it kind of stands out, right? Because you can just like, so to me, skills and like animations are like two different things. While you say like, yeah, the Oni, they use those skills, that's fine and all, but it's just like their model was like super humanoid, right? So we didn't get anything like, the only reason that was they were really cool is just because of like their model. But their animations weren't anything unique. I want something like unique animations. I want something like really interesting that they do. Like one thing that I would but this is kind of going back to like skills and stuff, but like one thing I would like to see, they created this new like jumping up, right? The Spectre does it on its elite skill. Obviously the Vindicator does it, where they jump up into the air and crash down. Like that would be really cool to see on a skill, right? On an enemy or something. What else would be really cool? Maybe to see like I was just thinking of something. It's just something in my head where I was just like, oh, I would really like to see that. Because I was thinking about the Vindicator, but like other like animations and stuff. where like I would like to just see them use other things that they have kind of created, that they have, made, other than just like reusing old stuff. Because I can imagine that that particular cryptus that uses the hoverboards is probably gonna have the same attacks as the hoverboard forged, right? Where like the things come flying around and stuff, and it's like, okay, well, we already know how that worked, It's kind of, it's a little silly to me, but dude, those henchmen, they're not even heroes, they're henchmen. That's what makes them so bad. They just dead, like you look at them in the wrong way and they're just like dead. uh, Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see them branch out a little bit more and do more of the like other things. They have created, I feel like, a lot of different skill animations and stuff for the last couple of expansions, and I feel like they could use them a little bit more. What about the thief, the daredevil, right? The daredevil has some really cool dodge animation, right? Where we have the one where you slam down the, what is it called, like I forgot what it's called, like stomp. It's not stomp, it's, I forgot what it's called, but there's different animations that I feel like they haven't really used, and they can use those for sure. I don't know. We'll have to see if they use any of that. Nothing I need here, right? So we just have to we have to report for duty. Jessica Torimo told me about you. It is the will of the unseen, no doubt, that brings you here. For we are greatly troubled by the rising tide of the undead that has beset the countryside. We need a message sent to the confessor in the temple to the west, so that he may consider how best to protect these lands. You have witnessed for yourself these undead abominations. I would like to travel to the Temple of Tolerance and tell Confessor Dorian of all that you've done and seen. If you're ready to undertake, okay. This is a group of white mantle scholars uncovered what they believe to be the Scepter of Or, possessed by King Reza, the last king of Or. And the Char invaded all three human kingdoms. The continent of Tyria was in turmoil. The scepter was lost somewhere between when the Char attacked Ascalon and when they reached the borders of Or. Those who knew of its whereabouts were all killed in the cataclysm. You see, when the Char reached the Orient capital city of Ara, the entire nation exploded in a flash of blinding light. Some say it was the vengeful wrath of the old gods. These days, though, only fools believe in the powers of Grenth, Balthazar, and the rest of the false pantheon. See, right there, you should also already have, like, red flags, like, me. The more rational thinkers among the White Mantle believe the Cataclysm was the work of foul black magic, dragged from the forbidden tombs deep below the streets of Aram. Why do they want the scepter? In the right hand, the scepter is said to be possessed the power to command creatures from the underworld. Either that, or, I shudder to think, they have much grander plans. Whatever the case, I'd hate to see the Walking Dead with an artifact of such power. How can I help? The scepter was taken to the Temple of Tolerance to be examined by Confessor Dorian, but we received word that the undead are marching towards the temple. The tale of your recent heroics is known widely among the White Mantle. We would be indebted to you if you blah blah. Okay, so we have to help him. So it's really cool. Like, I talked a little bit about good luck with the new animations. I'm still waiting how to dance volume 2, maybe on next episode. I have more time. Maybe I'm saying. Yeah, that would be nice, right? New dance animations. I would like that a lot. With hot, we got wyverns, mushrooms, Itzel, and those evil one Saurian chalks. You mean the new hawk? The Itzel, the new hawk, the Saurians, the chalks, the Mordrim, and the Mordremoth giant snake. Mordremoth giant worms snakes at Dragon Stand. Yeah, I know. Heart of Thorns really stands out. We talked about this last time. Heart of Thorns really stands out among all three expansions as something that, like, to me, it feels like a true MMO expansion where the other ones kind of like a little bit, um, because they had a huge announcement about it, and they were like, it was announced way ahead of time, and then they gave us little information as they went on, like a real true, like every other MMO company does it that way, right? And you might say, yes, it's a content drought, but like every week they were giving us, over 6 months, they were giving us like information about it. There was new blog posts all the time and new pictures, and they're explaining the masteries, and they're doing all this stuff. They haven't explained any of the masteries. They haven't explained the cryptas at all. They literally, the post about cryptas last week literally just said, hey, there's cryptas that are demons. That's it. And twice in that same blog post, which was really, really short, they even said, oh, to find out you have to play the game. To find out you have to play the game. So it's like, I get you don't want to spoil your customer base, but you also got to entice them to want to play. Just saying like, hey, yeah, you have to play the game to find out is not enough to really get people to like say like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do it, right? So I don't know, I'm a little iffy about all of that. I think the way that even Path of Fire, like Path of Fire again did the same that Secrets of the Obscure did, where it was like announced a month before. The difference though was that we had huge leaks months before, where they were leaking the masteries, they were leaking the mounts, they were leaking like what the location was. They had leaked all this stuff, so people weren't too pissed about the announcement being. But the announcement even wasn't bare bones, because we got like the elite specializations, we got pictures about it, they had what, like a 30-minute video that they showed us. And it's just like, I feel like every expansion it's become like less and less and less of info that they drop to us, and it's just kind of weird. I don't know. Forged Awakened Snakes. Well, Harpies we already had. I mean, they just got like new attacks, but Jinundu are just worms redone. So I don't think that was super. Ogres, new ogres, Sandlines, Scarabs. Yeah. Well, the thing is, they might still add new things, right? Like we haven't seen many of the models of cryptas. Are we only facing the cryptas? Is that the only enemy we're gonna find in the distorted worlds? Like, are we gonna find other things? Are there other things gonna come through the rifts? Like, how expansive are the cryptas forces, right? If we're talking about like, oh, flesh reavers are part of the cryptas, like, can they go different ways with this? Like, I just think it's so bare bones on a lot of the info that that's what people are getting pissed off about. And I don't think like talking about your enemy factions in depth before an expansion is like spoiler. Like, it's not. You know what I mean? I just don't think it is. And I don't know. It's just really strange about how ArenaNet has been handling it. But we'll have to see. I mean, we have less. Luckily, the only thing that we have is like less than a month, right? That's like the big thing, where we don't have that long to wait. We do not have to wait that long. Go, Dodo, do it. Heck their eyes out. Do it. Ah. Hey, I believe United is trying a new model where they'll hide the expansion after it's released. They think of a new place, see that the expansion is not available. The problem that I have with that, and again, I talked about this where, they have the metrics, they have the knowledge, but the problem that I have with that whole situation is that every other MMO company, every other developer that does MMOs, that does expansions for or even like live service games, because you could say like Destiny 2, for example, it's not an MMO, right? But it's like a live service game. It's something that like gets expansions and stuff. Like games that gets expansions, every other company announces those ahead of time and gives a lot of info ahead of time. ArenaNet is the only one that says, oh yeah, based on our metrics, this is not a good idea. And that kind of is what I don't understand. Is like, how is Guild Wars 2 the only game where that doesn't seem to, like, where that seems to be different? Like, it's kind of strange to me in a weird way. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the way that Guild Wars 2 is as a game or whatever. I don't know. But it seems really strange that it's the only game that they would say like, oh yeah, we just want to advertise it after the expansion is out. It seems really weird to me, and I just honestly, I just think that like I don't know, they could do both. I just think they could do both. I don't understand why they can't do both. You know what I mean? I've talked about this last week. How I think they need to get their partners more involved, how they need to get how they need to like enhance their blog posts. There's a lot of different little things that they can do without spoiling any of the big information and still have like a big release and then advertise after the fact. Like they can still do that with what I said last week, you know. So I don't know. I just think it seems like a cop out answer to me. It really does seem like a cop out answer to me. But you know, again, I don't know. Did you see what the expansion is not there before? Yeah. So I personally don't think it's a good strategy. I don't think so either. I can't agree with it. I don't know. You know, I mean, it is what it is. They're you know, like I said, they have the metrics. They decide what they want. I just don't think it's a good idea. No other MMO company does it. No other developer does it like that. So it seems very strange to me. So, but you know, whatever. Also, looks like Arena fired all the animations people. Well, that's clearly not right. You know, there's like 300 people working at ArenaNet. I don't think that they will have 300 people and none of them do animations. That would be kind of silly, right? Also, if the new weapons for classes will have reused animations, we have to wait half or more a year for it. It will be the biggest joke internet ever made. Um, Perhaps, but you also got to consider like they have to create. You know, there's a lot more than just like, hey, you know, even if they reuse animations and stuff. There's a lot more that goes into skills than just simply saying like, hey, we're gonna add new skills, boom, there it is. Right? There's a lot of technicalities that go into it. And they might also have to like consider like different traits and stuff and how they interact. I mean, there's a lot of different things that goes into making those. So I wouldn't just say like, you know, even if they reuse I mean, the thing that I have, like, so let's talk about like Guardian pistol, for example. Like there's only so many ways that you can wield a Guardian pistol or a pistol, you know what I mean? That there's only so many ways that you can make that look unique or interesting or something. You know, obviously we're gonna get probably, well, obviously we're gonna get a new symbol, so they have to create a new symbol for that, and things like that. I don't know. I just think, um I hope, my hope is that with the Revenant, that we actually get a, which one is my energy one? This one. I really hope, I really love these undead. Look at this guy. He looks like a Zelda boss. All right. Hello. I just hope that they reuse the underwater trident animations for Revenant for the new scepter. That's my... Benji, can you stop walking, please? I'm trying to talk to you. Oh my good god, this is stupid. Uh... I mean, that announcement was amazing, and it like even got me hyped. I mean, I've only been playing a little bit of it. I've only played like the trial version of it, and I just, you know, I know a little bit about the lore. I've kind of looked up some stuff, but I haven't really gone super deep. But you know, it was a great announcement, I think. But again, I talked about this again. If you guys want to hear like all my thoughts about that, watch like some of last week's stream. I think the Guild Wars 2 stream last week. I talked so much, or maybe it was a Guild Wars 1 stream or something. I talked in depth about how I think that like it's all about the presence. ArenaNet has no one that they have no one at their company that can really get the hype going. They don't have hype people. That's why their streams fail. That's why their announcements fail. The Heart of Thorns announcement was amazing because they had that really good voice actress. I forgot her name, but they had her there, and she's like a hype person. She knows how to like. None of the Guild Wars 2 developers know how to talk in front of a camera, and like I like Ruby as a person, right? But I think it's like when she's on camera, it just feels really awkward. It's very cringe, and it's and they can't get people hyped. So that's why their streams suck. That's why their like releases, like their announcements and stuff like that, kind of suck. When they were doing the Icewood Saga announcement, they didn't have anyone that's very like charismatic person. Why did the Final Fantasy 14 announcement like rock so much? Well, because it like Yoshi P up there, and he's like I talked about how like charismatic he is, and he really knows how to like drive the conversation. Like he wasn't looking at the teleprompter, he wasn't given stupid PR talk. Like it was super cringe, and you can really tell the difference. Like it was a great comparison when you look at how when the Xbox guy came on stage, because he was reading off the teleprompter, and he was reading like the stupid PR talk, just trying to get, and it felt so black and white to what we had been experiencing that whole announcement, right? And it's just like that, like it literally shows like this is how you do it and this is how you not do it, right? In one presentation, they really showed you how like a person should be in front of a crowd and how a person shouldn't be in front of a crowd. And to me, that's just like it was like plain as day that it's because he's so charismatic, and he knows how to like, he knows how to say like, okay guys, I know you guys are worried about this, but let me tell you about something like this and this, and he was just very good, and I think that's drove the hype. If you had someone that was boring and awkward and sweating profusely and red in their face and like, shaky voice and stuff, that doesn't really drive any confidence home, right? And it just makes it feel very like and that's what I feel like the Ice or the not the Ice Saga, but the announcement lately have been, right? And their streams have been like that, right? They get these developers that are like, nothing against the developers, but a lot of developers are nerds, and a lot of these nerds, right, they're not in front of cameras all the time, right? And they just, a lot of nerds are introverts, socially awkward. Like that's that's kind of comes with like being a nerd. That's kind of what it means, right? But you have those people come on stream, they're not gonna really sell anything to people because they're not really gonna get people hyped. Like I said, I've talked about this so much in the last couple of days. I've heard they put effort in the animations, epic world bosses, since unique strengths. I just want to see new models. Like I just new models with new animations for enemies. Like I don't know if I'm ready for Forge 2.0. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm ready for that. I just, I don't know. I'm gonna do this. What? Yeah, but I don't know if you have a boss with like a really cool, like I feel like that's the driving point of a lot of raids too. Because in raids or strikes even, you see a lot of unique animations, you see a lot of unique models, you know what I mean? Like we have nothing like Deimos or Samurag at all, like comparatively to like anything in the game. Like we don't have anything that looks like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like that can drive some stuff too. If you have like unique things, I mean, if it's just like if you do every boss copy and paste, right? Like from each other, that's gonna make it really boring too, because you're just like, oh well, here's like Deimos A and here's Deimos B and here's Deimos C, and it's just like whatever, right? But it's like having those unique animations, having those unique models, even on bosses, like that can drive a lot of stuff, that can really help, I think. Yeah, the Naga were pretty cool. I think they were super underutilized though, right? We didn't like Naga kind of appeared, um, in Saitang province, but they didn't really play like a huge role, and then it's just kind of like it was the end. They didn't really play a big role. I wish I would have seen more Naga stuff, but I'm glad that they are in the game now, and that we have cool models for them. Like, I really love how they like did the colorful thing, and they made them like, bright blue and bright pink and stuff, with like these frilly fins and stuff everywhere. Like, it's really cool. To the point where if we get an underwater expansion, maybe we'll see them, right? And it's very like it's a very stark contrast between Crate and Naga now, which wasn't really that huge of a difference in Guild Wars 1. So I like that for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the in-game sounds are too low. I don't know, but we'll have to see. The thing is, a lot of people are sitting here and we're like, we're complaining about the expansion, and I'm saying we because I have had my fair share of complaints as well, or even like not necessarily complaints, but like, we've made these like negative comments about things, but we don't know anything about the expansion. We know literally nothing. We know we're gonna get 2 maps. We know we're gonna get to go inside of the tower. But we know nothing. Like, another thing, they haven't talked anything about Wizard's Vault, right? I don't know if I can be. That's the thing that really drives me crazy. I don't know if I can be excited about these things because I don't know what they entail. I don't know if I'm excited about that. What are some of the rewards that we're getting out of it? They haven't said anything. They haven't said mount skins. They haven't said anything like gem store wise, like gem store skins or anything like that. They've just kind of said like unique rewards, but they say that for every expansion, so that doesn't mean anything. Are we gonna get specific weapon skins? Are we gonna get weapon sets out of it, armor sets out of it? Like what are we actually getting out of the vault? Like, we don't know anything. Like, and that's what drives me crazy. I think the vault is like a huge thing for the expansion, because that's where probably a majority of the rewards will come from, is probably from the vault. Like, that's, you're probably gonna get a lot of currency in order to open the vault and get whatever out of it. But it's like, but what is in it? What are some of the rewards that we're getting? Like, I don't know. It's just, and again, I don't want to complain, but it's just, that's one of my biggest things. I can't, like, I'm obviously hyped for the expansion because I love the lore, because, the Wizard's Tower and Zoja back and like all these things, but that doesn't, that's for me personally. I don't, I know that the community isn't like, not like, the community loves the lore, but I feel like it's not that big of an important thing for them either, you know? Ooh, it's Bane Dark Fist. Die, Bane. Go. Yeah, I was looking through the store, the Guild Wars 1 store. There's still a bunch of outfits that we don't have in Guild Wars 2. Like, even just getting outfits would be really cool. Like, I would love to get the Shining Blade uniform outfit. I would like to get this outfit right here. I love that. It's really cool. Like, I don't know. I would love to see that in the Guild Wars 2. Like, these are all supposed to be like leaves and stuff. This is very like Sylvari-esque. You could really dress your Sylvari in some cool ways this way. I don't know. Your thoughts on Skyscape? Oh, okay, hold on. It's healthy skepticism. It would be unrealistic to expect the cryptos being the only new asset in this expansion. The vast majority is probably going to be used. Probably. The majority will probably be reused assets, for sure. I mean, the maps are, distorted worlds from down below. But I will also say, so, because people were saying like, oh, we're just gonna see the same areas from like that were down in the, down on Tyria, up in the sky. But I'll bring you back to the trailer, right? They actually like, they didn't just like copy and paste Garenhof. Like, they actually redid all of Garenhof. Like, the houses are made out of different materials, and yes, while it does all like look the same, it's all positioned the same way, they have upgraded like what the houses look like and stuff. So we might see some like, and there was even like, when you look at the trailer, one of the rifts in the Canthan area, has like Orion corals around it, but it also has like a building in the background that like doesn't look like anything we've seen in it. So I think reusing assets, like we talked about earlier, but reusing them in a smart way. Maybe a house that we don't really see because it's just like in a, when we talk about like a New Kaining City, you see like maybe there's a couple of housing assets that you can't really see because there's just like a lot of housing going on and you're just trying to get through the streets and you're not really paying attention. But like isolating that and making like one building out of it that stands by itself could make it look like a new asset, even though it's like a reuse thing. There's like smart ways to reuse assets, I think. And I hope that they are smart about it. Your thoughts about, I get the feeling this is a response to World of Warcraft copy paste mounts, and now they want to one up, but I don't know if they make it OP. Full flight sucks. I don't know so much if it has to do with World of Warcraft. ArenaNet has always been very like, we don't care what other MMOs do. We don't really care what other developers are making. We don't really care. Like, we're releasing it at the point when we want to. Like, even at times when maybe it wasn't a smart idea to release an expansion at a certain time because like another MMO is releasing them at the same time. There was, I think was it Path of Fire? Path of Fire released right around the time a lot of other things released, and it was just kind of like, ooh, is that a smart idea? Like, can you compete with that? But ArenaNet doesn't care about those things. ArenaNet always does their own thing. So I don't know if that's in response to it. I think they were just, I think they were like just trying to figure out how they can add a feature, right? And they were thinking about, oh, we're going to the sky. Well, how about like actual like aerial combat, aerial, I mean, I feel like it's just kind of born out of the idea of like, hey, we want to make aerial combat a thing or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Am I excited for it? I mean, I want to, again, we don't know what it's like. Again, we don't see the animations. We don't know what it's like. I don't know if I'm excited for it. They could say it one way and can completely fuck it up and make it feel really fucking useless and stupid and annoying and like something you don't want to deal with. Or they could make it really good and really fun and whatever, but we don't know. We don't know. We have no idea. No idea if that's going to be good or not or what. Like, because we don't know what the animations are like. We've heard on paper what they're supposed to be, but that's it. That's my criticism that I have with this whole way that they're advertising this. It's like they're announcing all of these things, but they're giving zero details about it. I'm not excited about the sky skill thing at all, because I just don't know if I can be excited or not. I don't know. That's the thing that kind of is. As long as the gameplay and the story is solid, I wouldn't mind some cut corners. I feel the same way. I do feel the same way about that. For me, of course, it's like, how much lore can you fit into it? How much, like, how much are we gonna see about the crypt? Like, the cryptid to me is like the coolest part, and I really want to see, like, are we gonna see the different houses, right? Are we gonna see different agents of the houses, like different leaders? Are we gonna get some deep lore? Because they talk about like ancient war, and we talk about like seers might be in the expansion, and like, are they gonna kind of tie in some of the elder races together with the cryptids or something? Like, there's a lot of different ways that they could make this happen. Are we still talking, or can I go now? Oh, okay, so he wants me to go get the scepter now. Got it. I didn't really listen to it. Dynas. When the fell came under when the fort came under attack, I sent Dynas away with the scepter. Keep it out of the hands. So we gotta find Dynas and get the scepter from him. Or the Lich outfit. That's a good one too. Since Icewood Saga, all we got are cut corners. Give me Guild Wars 1 Kaineng and pay more than so. See, I actually thought about that. That you say that, like, cut, or not necessarily cut corners. I think the problem with End of Dragons, specifically asset wise and stuff, was that ArenaNet didn't recapture what factions was all about, what Cantha and Guild Wars 1 felt like, and just made something completely new. And I think that's what sat wrong with a lot of people. So I think that I thought about this because someone was saying the other day, they were like, well, I'd rather see the world map kind of filled out in the on the continents that we've been to already, and kind of like take the different areas and just kind of fill in holes for the next expansions. But I was like, well, you know, the reception for End of Dragons was so bad because people were really hoping for like Guild Wars 1 Cantha, and they got Guild Wars 2 Cantha, and it's like completely different. And that's why I'm kind of like, well, you know what? I know that ArenaNet can make really cool, good-looking, like different areas and stuff. But I just feel like that's why I want to see new areas in the world. I don't want to see old areas because I don't want them to take an old area. Like I was thinking about like, because I've been playing a lot of Nightfall and stuff, like the areas that we didn't see, like the southern part of Istan and stuff, and people, you know, were talking about like, oh, maybe, you know, releasing like expansion, like I saw like Reddit posts about like releasing expansions in those areas and stuff. But my thought is that like I don't think people understand that like we're gonna get that area, but it's not gonna look anything like it did in Guild Wars 1. It's gonna look completely different, and you're gonna have this expectation of like, hey, it's a Guild Wars 1 area, I want it to look like Guild Wars 1. But ArenaNet is always about like changing things and innovating and making it look different and enhancing it and blah 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 blah. You're gonna get a completely different looking area. It's gonna be completely different, and I don't think people understand that. So that's why I'm like, I want ArenaNet to go to new areas. I want to go to new areas. I don't want to go to old Guild Wars 1 areas. Like we have done all of those areas. We've seen all those how those places have changed and stuff. I want to go to new areas. I want them to start new things and just do Guild Wars 2 related things so that they don't have to be tied down by what Guild Wars 1 did and how Guild Wars 1 looked. And they can just like have this creative freedom of doing whatever they want and make, because I know they can make amazing looking maps. But the problem is that we have the expectation of, hey, we're going to a Guild Wars 1 map. I want this to look like Guild Wars 1, or I want this to like perfectly represent what it looked like in Guild Wars 1. And we're not going to get that, right? So it's just like, and I think they've proven that over and over again. The Maguma jungle looked completely different. The, you know, Path of Fire, like Ilona looked very different, guys. I'm telling you, I've been playing through a lot of Nightfall, and Ilona looks very different. Like, there's a lot of assets that they didn't, like, you know, they didn't make houses look the same. But, like, even Kryta, when you look at Kryta, like, Kryta looks so different, right? And it's not just about feeding the Guild Wars 1, like, you know, it's like, it's a different game. Like, do something new with it. Like, that's my opinion, at least. Like, I want ArenaNet to do new things. I want ArenaNet to do other things. But you know, whatever. I don't know. I don't know how people feel about that. Give me Guild Wars 1 Kaineng, especially with Guild Wars 1 music. Well, we talked about that. We talked about how like they probably have like there's a legal thing going on with that. They probably can't actually do that music anymore. I don't expect much from this expansion since they are rushed. They worked on Living World Season 1 revamp, new user experience. I think they will shine on the next expansion, but marketing will still suck. The problem that I have with that, it's always like we cut corners on this thing for the next thing, and it's been happening since season 4. You know what I mean? Like there were certain parts, and people always say it's Icebreath Saga. That is false. That is not when that started. It is actually in Path of Fire, because there's certain maps in Path of Fire. There's season 4. There were certain things in season 4 where they cut corners as well. Like Gandera, for example. They talked about how they wanted to make Gandera like actually 3 different lanes that you attack and stuff, but because of crunch, because they probably were working already on Icebreath Saga or whatever it was, right? They cut corners there, right? And it's just like there has been cut corners since like season 4, and you can kind of see it. You know, and then we cut Icebreath Saga short for End of Dragons, and then End of Dragons was like okay, but then you know the Living World season 6 that was supposed to come after was cut short, you know, because of Secrets of the Obscure, and then now Secrets of the Obscure is going to be maybe cut short because of all the other things they did in between, or maybe the other stuff they're already working on. I don't know, but I just think it's like, you know, I don't know. The thing is, like, I'm not against the content drought if you give me a good release. Like, I know a lot of people were super against the content drought that we got before, like Heart of Thorns and stuff. There was like nothing to do, nothing going on. But like Heart of Thorns was like such a good expansion all around. Like it had good meta events, you know, and they had to fix a lot of stuff. I will say they had to fix a lot of stuff after the fact, but the premise still was like, you know, they introduced elite specializations, the gliding, right? They did the verticality. They changed how the maps were built and stuff. They you know, they actually had a new PvP mode, which unfortunately, because of cut corners, has not been reviewed at all and revised and reworked or whatever. But it was still there. They introduced a new PvP mode, and they, you know, they introduced like all new enemies, like we talked about. There was so many new assets, so many new things that were introduced, you know, enemy types and all this stuff. And the story was really good. The meta events were really good. I think the rewards were really good too. You know, we got like 2 new guild halls with it and stuff. Like there was a lot of stuff with Heart of Thorns. So I don't mind a content drought. Like if they told me 2 months ago, like, hey, the next expansion is gonna come out in like, you know, spring of 2024 because we're, you know, we're not doing anything until then, but we're making like a full-on expansion. Like how would the community feel? How would the community feel saying like, hey, you know, this Secrets of the Obscure that we're getting now with the like two quarterly releases afterwards with like legendary armor, blah 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 blah. If they said, hey, we're gonna release like 4 or 5 maps with the legendary armor, with the new weapons, with the like availability of all the weapons on all elite specializations, with like the whole story completely done throughout all of the maps, like all the stuff, but you have to wait until next year. Like, how would people feel about that? I would be super happy with that because I don't mind waiting. Like, there's so much content in the game. There's so many things still that I, even after 10,000 hours, that I want to do in the game, that I just, you know, I would be okay with waiting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how people would feel about that. It came out pretty decent. Of course, I'm sad that New Canning looks nothing like Illusion, but it's a new game with new aesthetics. You know, to me, it's not necessarily about, because Jacob talked about like Garenhoff is more alive than Kaineng, and that's exactly the point. I'm not upset about at all what new Kaineng looks like. You know, I could be the only person on the planet that thinks that way. I do not at all mind what new Kaineng looks like. I think it looks cool, but there's just nothing to do. And even the music, and I talked about this, the music is a huge part for me in a video game. It conveys like a lot of the atmosphere and the feeling, and it really like, because you go into a map and the first thing that you hear is the music playing, right? And even the music makes it feel like this empty, like, go into New Kaineng City, blast the music all the way to the top, and like turn down all the other stuff. It makes it feel like this empty, abandoned city. Like the feeling that you get from the music, like even the music was a completely wrong choice. There's nothing that really hones down on the like new technology and like this is like a new, like a neo city, you know, and like spacey, like futuristic city or whatever. Like none of the music tracks that play like really convey that feeling to the player. Like it has this like really empty sound, and it's just very like and you're just like, okay, what am I doing out here? Like there's nothing going on, right? There's not really cool events. I've talked about ad nauseum like the events that I could see, like parades going on through the cities, speeder bike on the canals. I talked about like having the Jade Brotherhood be on like speeder bikes across the water, and you have to stop them, and like different events here and there, like the noodle stands. You know, we have to like, every event is like, here's an enemy defeated, here's an enemy defeated, here's an enemy defeated, here's a group of enemy defeated, here's a group of enemy defeated. But it's like, what about noodle stands actually having to like have you collect ingredients, or like, you know, the noodle stand explodes and you have to like collect all the different things that are exploding out of it or something, you know? Like the amount of, we talked about this again last week, Grothmar Valley, like Grothmar really is an amazing map because of the different activities that you have in it. There are so many different activities, like every event is different, every event feels different. So you kind of want to go from like one event, okay, this was cool, right? The flame effigy, like passing the flame and whatever, right? And then now you want to go to like the ooze pit. That's like different, right? Because you have to split up into groups and you have to make sure that you do the color thing, and there's like different mechanics with it. And then, oh, now the shooting range, right? And you go in the shooting range and you have to shoot the different targets. Like, it's so different. And that's why Grothmar is such an amazing map. You know, it looks pretty. Yes, obviously, it's very pretty, but it also has really cool stuff to do throughout. You know, the I forgot about the concert, which is like probably the biggest one, right? The concert is so cool because there's in this one event you do like 4 or 5 different events because you do like different things during this concert. It feels really cool. It feels really unique, you know. New maps and stories should be reserved for expansions. The patches between expansions should be fixing old systems of replayable content like new events, existing maps. Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I think having a structure like that would be so beneficial for like having a structure like that and having it be put on paper. You know what I mean? Really have us say, really have them say. But the problem also is that Arena always changes their cadence. So we don't know. You know, they talk about like we're gonna revisit rewards from Guild Wars 1 or from I'm sorry, from the core game, right? They're talking about like they're revisiting the rewards from core game. Okay, when is this happening, right? There's never any like, because we don't know the structure of it. We don't know who's working on it. We don't know what the release cadence on these things are. Again, ArenaNet has this fake transparency. I talked about this last week. ArenaNet, or even this week because it's still Sunday. I talked about this week. ArenaNet has fake transparency. They act like they're transparent, but they're not at all. Like, they say a lot of things, but they give us no information. They say they're doing all of these things, and they want to do all of these things, and they want to do this, and they want to do that, but it's all just like fluff talk, like all that has no meaning because there's no actual date behind it. I've talked about recently how the roadmaps went from like very detailed. Like, you can go back. I actually did the comparison on stream. This is when I was still streaming on Twitch. I actually did the comparison on stream where I looked. You can look it up, guys. You can look up all the different. You can just type into Google Guild Wars 2 roadmap, right? And look at all the different roadmaps that we have gotten over the last few years. All the different roadmaps from, like, I think they started in 2021 or 2020 or something. They started with doing the roadmaps, right? And they became less and less and less and less detailed and way more vague, right? There's like, by the end, they're just kind of like, okay, we're doing this in this quarter, and this quarter, and it's just like, okay, but it's like no details whatsoever. And it gets to the point where like certain quarters only have like festivals. It just says festivals. It's like they don't talk about like adding anything new to the festivals. They don't even say which festivals. It is literally just like festivals, and it's like, okay, yeah, all right, cool. Like, that's, you know, it's about the communication too. A big part is the communication, and that's where they fail miserably. Unfortunately, ArenaNet, with all the great things they have done over the like, because even with all the faults, even all the, you know, nitpicking and the bitching and the complaining and all that stuff that I'm doing, there's still like, you know, they still have like provided a lot of really cool innovative things like the mounts. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of really cool stuff that they have shown us, that they have given us. You know, and I think that like, but one thing that they really fail at is communication. They don't know how to properly communicate anything. And I think it goes back to like their structure internally. I think their structure is a complete mess inside. Because sometimes when and again, I don't know what it means. Oh,
I know who you are. You're the heroes everyone is talking about.
let's have Dinus talk and I can
That's
take
right.
a sip of water.
And we're here to escort you back to the Temple of Tolerance.
We can't go back to the temple. It's swarming with undead.
That's already been taken care of. The temple is safe again.
Oh, thank the heavens. Confessor Dorian will be very pleased to have the scepter back. Very pleased indeed.
Then let's not keep him waiting.
Why do we sound like such a bad guy? Because just because we're working for White Mantle right now? Yeah, and then we find out later that Dynas is actually a spy for the Shining Blade, which is like really, really funny. He was trying to get the scepter to the Shining Blade, and he didn't make it. Why is there undead there? What's going on?
Step forward. You have taken great risk today, placing yourself bravely in harm's way. In the face of overwhelming odds, you and your comrades chose the hero's path, and for that, I am in your debt. For your service to the White Mantle, it is my great pleasure to induct you into our organization and bestow upon you the title of Knight of the Mantle.
Guys, we're White Mantle. Woohoo!
Knight of the Mantle, and join your brothers in arms.
Well, Dodo doesn't approve. He's like, I'm blocking the view. Oh, I don't even know what the bonus in this one was. Oh, it's like you have to like bring something to the Temple of Melandru. Yeah, forgot about that. Oh well, that's okay. Why we even say they make something bad like Indera, like they couldn't fix it? It's MMO. Of course they can fix it any day. Again, one of ArenaNet's policies, making new content and leaving behind everything that's been before. That's why the game is littered with bugs right now, because they've just had that same mentality for so long, which again kind of sucks, but that's just kind of how it is. Because they kind of took people complaining about like not, you know, during season 1 and during core release, right? A lot of people were complaining about like, oh, we're not getting new maps, we're not getting new things, and they took that so to heart that they went so hard into that, where they're like, we're releasing new stuff and we're not even looking back at the old stuff at all, ever. They really took that to heart. So be careful what you complain about. Be careful what you wish for. Look, guys, it's Shaymore right there. There's the bridge. Looks completely different in Guild Wars 2, but there's the bridge right there. There's Shaymore right there. With the river running through, you know. Right around here is like the garrison, I guess. The garrison would be like right over there. Hey, Emily, welcome. Exactly. There's so many old content that are atrocious. I would be much happier if they given me a revamp of Gandera rather than Gala, and of course, let's not forget Zaitan. Best example of leaving stuff by arena policies, legendary weapons collections. Hey, they got tons of bugs. Let's fix them and make new ones. Nah, abandon it totally. See, and that's the thing. I think ArenaNet needs to realize that I think most of the player base at this point would be on board with them saying like, hey, we're gonna stop releasing new things and we're just gonna make older stuff good again. I talked about, you know, how I think that like you know, they could revamp old maps and it would be like they could go back to, you know, I talked about the return to Harathi hinterlands, right? And they could totally do that, right? And they could even have it where they redo a legendary collection and like have certain maps be involved in these collections or something. You know, I don't mind having to travel the world for like legendary weapons and stuff, but like, wouldn't it be cool to have like a return to like a specific map or something, and then having that tied with like a legendary weapon collection or something? Having new achievements for level 80 character. Like, I know it's a 35 to 45 map, but you can have different achievements. And I talked about how like you can only get the return to achievements if you're level 80, and they're not you can't earn them early if you're like a low level character. They only unlock if you're level 80 and stuff. There's a lot of different things they could do, and I would be 100% behind them. I don't care what anyone says. If they were to be like, okay, listen, for the next 2 years, we're not doing any expansions. We're actually going to sit down and we're going to revise the whole core game. And we're going to revise, like, we're going to look at bugs, and we're going to look at balancing all the weapon skills to be like on equal level. And we're going to look at all these different things that are like core experience, the Zaitan fight. We're gonna look at all of these things. I would be like, thank fucking God. I'd be so happy. I can't even tell you guys. I'd be so excited for that. All right. Anyways. Oh, I guess, do they give us info? I guess I didn't really get any info. I guess I gotta talk to this guy. So, I serve the White Mantle, may the unseen gods. Okay, I'm here to, unofficial White Mantle business. Welcome to the fold, my friend. Word of your knighting has spread far and wide. As the newest member of the White Mantle, it is only fitting that you be given the honor of administering the Test of the Chosen. The Test of the Chosen? Every year, at the turn of each season, the Mantle take the divine eye of Genthier to all the villages I guess, and Kryta to test the locals for magical aptitude. What's the divine eye of Genthier? Years ago, the founder of the White Mantle, Saul Delesio, traveled south to the south? Oh my good God, Jesus. All right. Sometimes I think I'm crazy, and then I read stuff like that. South? The Isles of Genthier are up here. What are you talking about? North to the island of Genthier. It is said that those who come from this island are gifted with true sight, the ability to see a person for who he really is. When Saul returned to Kryta, he brought with him the divine eye, an artifact that possesses this true sight in a limited capacity. The eye can identify those individuals who have within themselves the potential to become powerful magic users. Those identified by the eye as having talent are taken to the Temple of the Unseen to study under the Grand Masters, so they may realize their full potential. Temple of the Unseen. So the Temple of the Unseen is the one that's down here, right? Down here. Is that the Temple of the Unseen? I think that's it. Why is administering test an honor? The divine eye has an intelligence of its own. It won't follow just anybody. Only those who have proven themselves worthy are asked to partake in this ceremony. In the past 5 years, all of the knights who have been promoted to the rank of Zealot or Justicar had at one time administered the test. If you become a Justicar, you will be granted access to the Grand Temple. I'm told the great libraries alone are worth it. Just think of all the things you could learn. But you also get to take your pick of the artifacts in the White Mantle Armory. And of course, you'd be able to meet the Grand Masters. What? You'd also be able to take your pick of the artifacts in the White Mantle Armory? What must I do? Today is the summer solstice. The sun has reached its apex, and Justicar Hableon has gone to Shaemor to prepare for the test. Catch up to him. All right, I'm off to Shaemor. Congratulations, I'm sure, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now we know what's actually going on. I would like that. Yeah, I would really. This is exactly how Legendary Weapon Collection worked. You go back to old events, and that's why I love doing them. Yeah, I mean, it could, it can really involve, like, again, there's a way to tie different, you want to tie different systems in the game together, right? And I think that's a good way to do it. I really don't understand that mentality, because MMOs are based on replayability. Iterations to old content is still new content. 100%. When you have the nerve to have achievements that ask you to do an event 50 times, you better release it at a pristine state or iterate it later. Or release something more interesting than just repeating something 50 times over. It's the same with like all of the endgame rewards over the last, 4 or 5 years have come down to the most pristine rewards are infusions, and those are RNG based on the newest content or playing the newest stuff, right? And it's just like you have a 0.000000001% chance of getting it, so you have to replay it 700 million times in order to even get like a 1% chance of fucking getting a thing, getting an infusion. Like, it's just kind of like, really? Kind of lame. I don't know. It's just, again, I feel like that's something that, rewards, like we talk about rewards, like fashion, it's still endgame, right? But it doesn't have to be all about infusions. That's what it's all been about. It's been just about like doing infusions and stuff. And I'm like, but there's different, like, you can do armor skins, you can do weapon skins. Like they did that in Galadelph. Like they had a new weapon set that you can earn from doing the events, and they had those things, right? And it's like, I actually like that. You could get different weapons, and there was unique weapons you could get, and it really felt like I was like, oh, you know what? I actually like that. That was a good example. Not that Yellow Delve, like the first release of Yellow Delve was very boring because of the events that they had, but I felt like the rewards weren't bad. I think the rewards were pretty okay. I don't know, it's ArenaNet does like one thing good and then fails at another sometimes, and it's kind of sad. I just, you know, I don't know. I feel like we all say this, right? It's like someone might look at this from outside and be like, well, everyone's just bitching and this is fucking stupid, but we're really just like, we're doing that out of the love for the game. You know what I mean? We're all doing that because we want the game to succeed. You know, that's the reason we talk about those things. So we're right around here is where the garrison would be. Like, in 250 years, guys, this is where the giant garrison would be standing. Because there's the bridge right here. And I think the bridge aligns not perfectly, obviously, because it doesn't quite go the same way. But I think it's pretty close. So somewhere around here would be the garrison in 250 years. We do have the watchtowers out there, which are really cool. Yeah, Canaxa. No, I only wish for Urgos bow. Yeah, there's a couple of really cool things that they could add in. Message. My eyes itchy. I'm hungry. I only ate earlier this day. When did I eat? I ate at like, I want to say it was like 11 o'clock. I haven't eaten, so I haven't eaten in like 12 hours. I'm hungry. And if you just need a wardrobe integration, I feel like they could tap on the system. Yeah, my question also is like we're talking about like relics, right? So they could have like how would people feel about like relics being, depending on how, like my question first of all is like, are the relics gonna act like all the other trinkets where only the legendary has a unique like effect or unique whatever, or is it gonna have something where it's like a back piece, right, where it has like some kind of effect depending on what you equip. That would be kind of cool because they can enhance fashion even more if they do relics really interesting. Like it could be something, you know, we have already orbs floating around and stuff, so maybe that's not a great idea, but like having something float next to you as like the relic, if you have different things floating next to you based on what relic you have. I don't know, something like that. So we're here in Shaymore. Welcome to Shaymore, guys. This right here is Shaymore. I mean, up here, we can't go up here. Like this is what Divinity's Reach is later. Like this northern part, and it kind of, they actually expanded outward to the point where these two get split off from each other, and like, you know, Divinity's Reach gets built into the water out there. But this is Shaymore. This is the village of Shaymore. Shaymore Village, and there's Justicar Hablion, our BFF, and the eye. I always found the eye very creepy because it's like an actual human eye. Look at that eye. Right. Hello.
My friends, welcome to Shaymore. This is the Eye of Janthir. It has the power to see inside a person and discern his or
what
her
is that fire emblem doing?
attitude. Those it gazes upon will be judged, either rising to glory or falling in shame. You will be bringing it to Loamhurst, taking those whom it deems worthy with you.
I always love that plan that glitches through the gate.
But before it will follow you, you must first cleanse yourself in the Fountain of Truth, up on the hill to the southeast. Once you have been cleansed, come back to retrieve the eye, and you can commence administering the test.
And they auto walk your character to that gate that just opened up, because this was the gate that they opened with the plant right in the middle. I don't know why they did that, but it's so weird that they like auto walk your character there. And the plant placement, like I can't walk through it, so it's kind of blocking the path. I don't know why they do that, but I don't know what that guy's doing there. He's just like running in circles. I'm not sure, but we can read these tablets as well. Yeah, you said that last week where for instance, you get a relic, you need to kill a rift boss that has an overpowered version of that relic. Yeah, I mean something like that, or not even. Well, maybe rifts, because you can see rifts in like old maps and stuff. Yeah, different ways to unlock. Having just a vendor that you can buy them from would be kind of annoying. Like maybe the core ones. The core ones being like just buyable would be okay, but like the expansion ones, I really want them to be like something interesting where you have to unlock them. You actually have to do something in order to get them. That would be really. I would be so okay with that. All right, let's read this. Let's read this tablet here. In our faith, we are blind. In the unseen, we seek true sight. In ourselves, we find obedience. Peasant's prayer from the Book of Loam. So the Book of Loam, we talk about so Loamhurst is out here, guys. Where would that would be interesting to know. What is Loamhurst in Guild Wars 2? Because I remember it's like a really random location. It's like not even interesting. Oh yeah. So do you guys Guild Wars 1, the apple orchard, where the dam is, the apple orchard in the fields of Shamor. That's where Loamhurst is. So, because for Lake Doric, for example, we have New Loamhurst, right? But that's on the other side. This is Lake Doric in Guild Wars 2. Okay, it's like the part of this lake or whatever. And we get, because Demetra is like out here or whatever, and we get the ruins of Demetra in Guild Wars 2. And that's like out here. And then we have, I think we can even go on this island or close to this island or something, but and there's a watchtower on it as well. But the only watchtower we see is one way north of Lake Doric on the top right. That's the only watchtower that we see in Guild Wars 2. But yeah, this is Lake Doric right here, and then like New Loamhurst is like over here somewhere. But this is the original Loamhurst, where where Edda, I think Edda is Edda her name, the apple orchard lady. I forgot what her name is, but yeah, it's like right there. Yes, an unlock would be nice, even for the ones that have legendaries. Would be a one-time unlock to add attributes. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just. Having yeah, that would be really cool. That would definitely be really cool. I don't think they're gonna do it, but that would be really nice, having it where you have to unlock a relic in order to be able to equip it in the legendary tab. Like, that would be really cool. Again, gives you more incentive to, like, even if you have the legendary, to do the content where you would have to get the other version of it, right? Like the core version. The real test of a believer is his range of sight. Faith does not require clear vision, but rather an acceptance of what is truly there. Oath of the Unseen. So it's so weird, because it's like all of this like talk, Tablet of Janthier, and all of the Oath of the Unseen and all that. It literally talks about blind faith. It's so interesting that like they're just like so tied to blind faith. They're just like, yeah, we, the unseen gods are there, but even though you can't see them, like, you have to follow them, and just, you have to follow every word they say. It's just like, what the fuck? Alright. So we have a couple, so we cleanse ourselves here. I don't know this cleansing thing. This cleansing thing is interesting. I would like to... Do you have any info about it? No. He just kind of hangs out. The crossroads will come, a hiccup in time when the rest of history has not been written. At this juncture, when the fate of the world hangs in the balance, the forces of evil will rise. It is at this point that the chosen ones may fail. Oh, scroll of seeing. So it actually talks about the chosen ones failing. The true believer does not ask for compensation. The true believer does not ask his gods to deliver him from sin. The true believer places his life in the hands of faith, trusting in the unseen. Ugh. God, all this religious talk is making me break out in hives. Although it stands to reason that a believer should be mindful of that in which he believes, it seems that we're that we are at all times negligent. Consequently, if someone were to ask the believer in what he believes, the person who can answer without stopping to contemplate and reflect is rare. Okay. At his heart, every man has inside him a place of darkness. The challenge of the righteous man is not only to recognize in himself that which he seeks to strike down in the wicked, but to understand that he too is wicked. All right, that's it. That's the tablets of Janthier. You know everything to know about Janthier. Just kidding. All right, Hablion, we're coming. Well, at least the Mersat defeated the Char, so I can see why some would buy that story, even if they... Yeah, I guess, you know, it's just... They took them by surprise, right? Like, the Mersat, like... You know, the Char didn't know the Mersat existed, right? It's like they kind of took them by surprise. I think if the Char hadn't done a three-prong... Because they were attacking Kryta, they were attacking Ascalon, and they were attacking Or, right, at the same time. Like, if the Char hadn't been split into 3 different things, they would have just been attacking Kryta. They might have won. If they had known about the Mersat beforehand, they might have won. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, yes, the Mersat won, but I think the Char, like, even back then, like, you know, just huge, very strong force. I don't know, they were very powerful back then even. But I mean, like, you know, it's so weird to think that somewhere out here, right? It's we know that the Bastion of the Penitent is like right out here. I think it's like right here. I don't know exactly. It doesn't align perfectly because I don't think this green part, does this green part exist in Guild Wars 2? Oh, it does actually exist. So the Bastion of the Penitent is right there, right? So it's like right here. The island still exists in Guild Wars 2. But we do know that there's like a city somewhere in the Cascades, Woodland Cascades, and I would probably think it's probably further north. Like, I would like to think that the Mersat have a like this right here is like the city that they talk about, because there's actually, when you read about the, and I know the Woodland Cascades are only supposed to be this area, but I'd like to think that that's part of it as well. Because Saul D'Alessio, when he met the Mersat, it was in their city, and it's a city where the spires reach to the sky. And it's like this grandiose like city where the Mersat lived, and we've never seen it, right? And the Bastion of the Penitent obviously is not that grand city, right? It's an underground prison. So there's somewhere out there, and you know, chances are, I mean, we haven't seen it, you know, it hasn't been reported, but we do know that people have ventured through the Woodland Cascades. But maybe further north, people haven't been here because we haven't heard anything about the Isles. So maybe there's something, maybe the city is like out here, like this black speck right here is like the city of the Mersat or something. We don't know. All right, we have the blessed, or the cleansed. We're a blessing, the waters of the fountain. So now we're here with the Eye of Janthier. We're gonna take it with us, and it's gonna help us to identify all the chosen. So I think the chosen that don't get the people that don't get knocked over are the chosen, right? Isn't that what it is? These will join you in your trek to Loamhurst. Okay. So on our way, we're gonna find the chosen. I don't really care. All right, open the gate. In the Straits of Devastation. I probably knew that at some point. I feel like that's not something that I remember now, but that is definitely something that I feel like I knew at some point. Where are they located? If I know maybe where they are. Because we find the actual Searing Cauldron in... Oh, I don't know why I did that. Back to back. The Searing Cauldron that was used in Guild Wars 1, we actually, you know, we find it out in Ascalon. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to Loamhurst. Oh, maybe there's a villager here. Maybe this villager is a chosen. Are you a chosen? Hello? Hello? Knock, knock on your door. Oh my good god, now we're dealing with all these fuckers. Go. Get. Oop. I don't think you're a chosen. I don't think you are. That's okay. Oh, it's obstructed. Aw. Oh god. Hello. Maybe it's on the. Hold on. Maybe it's on this map that I have up. Trace of devastation. Oh no. Oh, hello. Yeah, these guys coming out. I don't know. Yeah, they did bring that. They did bring. I don't know. I'm trying to remember because I was thinking about that as well. I wonder what it says on there. I'm sure I could translate that, but who has time for that? I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was. Was it? It wasn't the one that they used. I think they used a different. They brought a different cauldron in, didn't they? There was a. It was a different cauldron. It wasn't the one that was used in Ascalon. Don't they like? Do they explicitly say that, or am I misremembering that? It's been a long time since I've done a personal story, so I could be wrong. Hello, are you chosen? I don't know. I have one person with me right now. Are you a chosen? Are you a chosen? I don't know. Oh, we got Etten. We got Gypsy Ettens. Love it. Fucking attack, stupid bird. Nee. I feel like there's something about like they talk about the Syrian Cauldron and they're just like, oh yeah, this is not the one that was used in Ascalon. This is like a different one. So I have a question. So for Secrets of the Obscure, they were talking about how the third location that we're going to, the third map that's releasing, is like a what did they said something about like it's a unexpected location or it's a weird location or something. What does everyone think we're going to for the third map? So this is really cool right here. This bridge is actually the bridge in Shaymore. Like right when you get to the farms, this is that same bridge. Okay, you go over this. This is a completely different bridge, which, you know, whatever. It's much bigger. It's like made out of stone. It's not like the wooden, but this is the bridge that's like right when you start the game, as a human, you go across this bridge in Guild Wars 2. That eye, like being right in the middle of the screen, is really annoying. Please help me. Same, a different one. Person, I think on paper is included if there are multiple ones. Oh, okay. Oh, this is where the bonus is, right? Thank you, and the care from was the text was scattered into the hills. I think it's like this way. There's another tablet. Did I miss some tablets earlier? I don't know. Chosen it would be duty keeper of the eye to find and escort them. Find and escort all the chosen. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. A person is a good believer to the extent that he earnestly places importance in his masters. But even a person who is a good for nothing will be a reliable supplicant if only he has the utmost faith in his masters. Oh my God, Jesus. Really preaching this like whole like believing just blind faith. The way of the chosen is found in death. When pressed with the choice of life or death, it is only in the later that the unseen shall be brought to glory. Patience progress in this delivery shall be rewarded in the next life. From a conversation with Elder Confessor Schessler. So this is really cool. So Schessler, there's actually a discrepancy in the lore because there's these lore stories that you can look up where Menlo and Sin and Devona and all the characters that are supposed to be like kind of journeying with, like, we're supposed to be the player character, but like the characters that represent the player character are Menlo and Aiden and Eve and like that whole group. Like that's supposed to be the player character. And there's a story that they released about Guild Wars 1 where they actually meet the Confessor. And they say it's like Confessor, they actually call him Confessor Schessler. But it's actually supposed to be Confessor Dorian. They're supposed to be the same guy, and I guess there was like a change of name right before Guild Wars was released. So it says Schessler, but it's supposed to be Confessor Dorian. Let's see what it says. After his death, during the closed alpha in late 2003, early 2004, as well as in the Protectors of Kryta, which is the actual, like, the story that I was talking about, Confessor Dorian was called Confessor Schessler. Yeah, so it's actually, like, this is supposed to be about Dorian, the guy that we just saw. Hello, Glitz Swiftwing. Char Ravage Ascalon with Syrian Cauldrons and March on War. But it could, I mean, that would mean that there's, like, different, you know, obviously, I think that confirms that there's different Syrian Cauldrons. You know, we do see in Guild Wars 1, we actually do see a second Syrian Cauldron being transported or whatever. So I think there's multiple Syrian Cauldrons. I think we can agree on that. I didn't read the other tablet, but I've had enough of this religious nonsense. I do like that they returned. Do I like the way that they were? Well, you know, the thing is, you gotta think there's a lot of people that played Path of Fire and they don't know the importance of Dunkoro or Talcora or any of those characters. You know, and I just think it's like making a big deal out of them returning is like probably not the like greatest thing. I mean, they had Kos come back. They had Lonai come back, you know, and it was just kind of like, I think a lot of people that didn't play Guild Wars 1, you know, when the big reveal was like, oh, my name is Lonai, when we, you know, fight her or whatever in that instance, you know, and she's kind of like, you know, we're in like in space somewhere, you know, we get like teleported through space, and we're like out somewhere in space. Which also leans onto, remember how we talked about like the night sky and the you know, like space and all the stars and stuff. That's like the mists, because like we get transported to like a different location and we're like out in space. So that kind of leans into that as well. But I just think that, like, you know, for the Guild Wars 1 players, yes, it's like kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. But you know, for the ones that didn't play Guild Wars 1, they're just kind of like, I don't know what that means, and I don't really give a shit. You know, so I'm glad that they weren't like major characters. I'm kind of glad how they handled some of those. I do kind of like the way that they handled that. I mean, Dunkoro was like one of those, because I always used him in my team, so it's just like, oh man, it's Dunkoro, dude. Fuck yeah. We get another morale boost. Are we actually getting like people with us? We have two people with us. We're clearly not getting all of them with us. Yeah, Tokoro was a little underused, you know, just kind of having him stand there and not do anything. So I kind of like how they used Koss, where they had like him deal with like his descendant and stuff. That was kind of cool. I do like that. Yeah, my most favorite parts of Istan were not were not shown. Is this There's like I saw a thing happen here. Are you a person that I need to have? Yeah, there you go. See, you know that they are chosen, that when that light pops up, they don't get knocked down. If they get knocked down, they're not chosen. If they keep standing and they're just like, "Ha," then they are chosen. I think Palawadon was fine. My favorite parts of Latenda Bog and what's the other one? Mittani Keys were like two things that were not in it, and those are my two favorite areas in Guild and Istan, specifically Mittani Keys. The Mittani Keys are like really cool to me, and I'm really sad that we did not get to see them. Because there's some really interesting lore with like the Palace of the what's it called? Oh my good god, I can't remember now. The Palace of Cyclones or something like that is what it's called. Cyclones. Cyclone Palace. It's just called Cyclone Palace. And then you have the like Mittani Keys also has the they're the monuments of Nala and Dala, which are the twin empresses or whatever they were, the leaders of I think we meet them in Guilders too. We kind of, you know, they're one of the people that you kind of deal with in Path of Fire. But it's kind of cool because I was thinking about like their monuments are pointed, and I can't show it, but like let's say this is Istan or whatever, right? And it's like the Mittani Keys are down here, and then their monuments are pointed like down south, like into a direction that we don't know what's down there. And it kind of made me think, I'm like, why are they like positioned in a position like in a way like that? Like they're not pointing north, like they're, you know, because when you think about like Istan, right? It's like you have, you know, over here would be the mainland, and you know there would be Korna, and then Vavi would be up here, and then the Desolation would be up there. But it's like, you know, they're pointed to this area, like in not even in direction of like Cantha, which is like, you know, in this direction, like down here, but it's like pointed in this direction, and we don't even know what's down there. And it's just I don't know. There was kind of like I feel like there could be something where Loamhurst. See, Loamhurst is on the other side of that mountain. I just gotta go around. I feel like there's some kind of story that they could tell with that, where like those were built in like defense of something, or it was like they have some kind of purpose, you know, because it's like right in between the two is the Cyclone Palace, which we don't really know what the use of that was. I'm going in a circle. Am I lost? Am I need to go this way? No. What the hell? Oh, I'm supposed to go through this gate? I think I'm supposed to go through this gate. Wait, isn't that just gonna bring me back out to where I just was? Yes. What the hell? I'm lost, guys. Did I go the wrong way? What the heck is going on? Oh, look at that light. It's so weird. I'm lost. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Metallic Keys would be amazing to revisit. I mean, design was okay, but I'm sad it was taken by Joko. Well, but again, I just talked about that. I think I need to go around this way. I think I went the wrong way. Yeah, I need to go back up. I went the wrong way. But I taught, that's pretty much what I mean by the idea of like, we want to have locations from Guild Wars 1, but then it's like, you got to think it's 250 years, and ArenaNet is going to be like, a lot has happened in 250 years. A lot of things have changed. So we're going to make this place look completely different, or we're going to make it have like been taken over by, what else? I mean, Palawa Joko took over all of Elona, right? So it's like, of course he took Palawadan as his like capital or whatever, right? Like, of course that was going to be like a major seat of power for him. So it's only natural that that's what happened to it. That's why it's always like, it's cool to see the areas from Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, but it's always like we're gonna see them changed, and maybe sometimes in ways that we don't like them. That's just kind of how it goes. Yeah. Okay. And wasn't like Amnoon. See, Amnoon was kind of cool. See, I liked Amnoon, but I feel like they could have really done something with the casino. I feel like doing a little bit more with the casino would have been cool. But yeah, I wish they would have added Matani Keys too. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. Because like I said, I've been playing a lot of Nightfall, so I've been kind of I just today was going through and was doing all the different like quests out there and stuff, and it's really cool because they have this like water sparkle that they have like added as an effect over the water, and it makes it look so like idyllic and like really like beachy and like tropical, and it's really cool. I love it out there. It's really awesome to just kind of go through and seeing that stuff. Cyclone Palace was partially sunken, so in Guild Wars 2 I was thinking about that too. I'm like, yeah, it was partially sunken, and they actually like part of the lore, I guess, is that it's like kind of getting eaten by the sea. Yeah, it would be really cool to see it like underwater and we swim up to it or whatever. We actually get to go inside of it. Like, there's a lot of buildings, right? Like the Sunspear Great Hall. We didn't get to explore that in Guild Wars 1, right? We didn't get to see any inside of any of the buildings. So it's really cool to see in Guild Wars 2. Like, that's always my biggest thing. I talked about this like pre-End of Dragons, where I'm like, well, we're gonna get to see inside of these buildings because we've never been able to see inside of these buildings, and it will be really cool to see the inside of a lot of these buildings. So maybe seeing inside of the Cyclone Palace and maybe seeing what it was made for, why it was there, on this like very corner of that world. Nightfall in general was amazing when it comes to world building. It definitely gave the essence to a rich and ancient civilization. The Realm of Torment would be incredible to revisit. Yeah, I hope that we get something like the Realm of Torment with the Cryptas. I hope that, whether or not we're gonna see the Demon Realm this expansion or like next expansion or quarterly update or whatever it is, I hope that we do get to see some kind of Demon Realm at some point, that we venture, that one of the maps is in like the Demon Realm and we go there or whatever. Like, that would be really cool to me. Like, having a different part of the world that's not like having a part of the overworld that's not the regular overworld, but it's like you have to click, like kind of how you did it in Nightfall, where you had to click on it and you go into the Realm of Torment, right? And it's like, that would be really cool to me to actually see like this Demon Realm. Like, they can make something really cool and like gory looking. Look, we have a little frog fan. Hello. Just seeing something really cool and really like gory and nasty and gruesome and macabre like in the Demon Realm, like that would be really, really cool. I really would love to see that. People think Joko is so funny, goofy enemy, but this guy basically changed river course. Yeah, he was very powerful, and that's why, again, I talked about how I compared Palawa Joko to Menzies, right? And how I think that Palawa Joko is super underutilized because he was supposed to be this really powerful character, this really interesting, powerful guy. But because he played into the dragon story, we just like had 3 episodes with him, and then he got literally eaten by Deus Ex Machina, right? And it's just kind of like, that's why when people say like I want to see Mingus, I'm like, or Menzies or whatever, I'm like, well, I want to see him as well, but I don't want to see him get swallowed up by Kryptos lore and by things that are like about Kryptos, where he just ends up being the secondary villain that's just kind of like blased out of the fucking story for no reason, just because they needed a scapegoat, or they needed someone to die, or they needed some kind of boss to end up like being dead or whatever, like someone that you kill in the strike or something. Like I feel like Kanaxai was kind of underutilized in that way as well, because I really feel like Kanaxai would have been really cool to have come back, and now he's just kind of like been just retcon to like, oh yeah, he's been dead since Guild Wars 1 kind of thing, you should get some food too. Enjoy your last weekly Guild Wars 2 facts about Descendants looking at Rook, and I did not know. Oh, enjoyed your last weekly. Well, thank you so much. Well, and I'm glad your lunch is here. I will be eating after the stream. I will be eating something, so thank you for your concern. I appreciate that very much. It's very sweet. I will be eating something for sure. I think I'm gonna have, I don't know what I'm gonna have, but I'm definitely gonna eat something after the stream. I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight, guys. I feel like now that I've turned 31, I feel very like, I don't know. I don't feel. I feel like the weight just comes on very easily and not off very easily. So I'm trying to stay a little healthy. So I'm trying to eat a little bit less, is what the idea is. Good thing Arena adjusted for revs with sheer Arkham and St. Victor. Quotes about EOD maps and places. Yes, I like that. I think that's a great way to bring back some old characters. Where you can just like, Revenant is all about the Guild Wars 1 fan base, right? All about the characters and lore, and the cool people coming back, and you can fit some really cool like quotes and conversations in there and have that. Why is there like a thing floating around? Do you see that? Why is that floating around him? Do you guys see that? That's so weird. He doesn't have anything on him. Kind of weird. Is it around everyone? Or everyone just not? Oh, I just didn't see it. It's around everyone. It's not around him though. That's weird. Anyways. One of my favorite concept art releases is the Realm of Torment. You can see it in the Guild Wars 2 wiki. It depicts his body parts sewn together. Yeah, it's very demonic looking. Let me look at it. Realm of Torment. You mean the loading screen? Loading screen looks mechanical to me. Oh, you mean some of the other? Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's very what's the name when it's like there's something it's like if it unlocks like a phobia. I feel like there's a name for, because you see the hand with the like very detailed like fingernail on it, and it's just kind of attached. The skin is like, ooh, it's really gross, guys. It's really nasty. Look it up. It's really bad. Yeah, the Realm of Torment was really, really cool, I think, as a concept, because you can spin it any way, right? Like, you go into this fantastical realm that's outside of the laws. Like, ArenaNet has done such a great job of creating this world, Tyria, right? Where there's, like, laws that are, the world abides by, right? It's, like, based off of, like, magic, and, like, the more magic there is, the more fantastical things happen. Things go like kind of crazy haywire. Like we have wild magic and volatile magic and unbound magic, right? Because of the release of magic, and there's certain rules that it follows. But then you go into like the Realm of Torment, which is like within the mists, and it's like this unexplored realm of like these magical demon creatures, and it's just like, oh, anything can happen here. You can see anything and everything could be a possibility, and that's really cool to me. I really, really love that. All right. Hello, Mina. Ooh. Please accept the small gift. Ooh, I got $300. I think for every guy that you bring, you get 100 gold. $100. Here's a $300. Okay, is this where I bring it? Yeah. It's beautiful. It is. It's very eerie, but it's very beautiful. Dodo does not know anything about personal space. He's just like on top of us. Ooh, look at that light shining through. Yeah, so these are the chosen guys. These are the magically inclined people with the
all the chosen to the caravan.
Yes, sir.
We leave within the hour.
We did it! Woohoo! We have gotten all the chosen here, guys. Time to kill them all. We did not have that many chosen. We only had 3. Time to kill them all off. I love the roles were very reversed from Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2 between White Mantle and Shining Blade. Because the White Mantle is pretty much what the Shining Blade was in Guild Wars 1. Where the White Mantle is pretty much what the Shining Blade was, you know, Guild Wars 1. Like in Guild Wars 2, right? It's like kind of reversed. Ooh, is Sadra? Yeah.
Dwayna, protect us.
Quickly, take the chosen into the jungle.
Please don't hurt us.
Please don't hurt us.
Keep quiet. Your suffering will be over soon.
I really love how they painted them to be like evil, and then it's like completely reversed. Oh guys, look, we're going into Maguma Jungle. I'm so happy right now. Yay! We did a huge jump. A huge jump here, right? There's like a lot of really cool things that, like, there's Dry Top, and there's like Majesty's Rest with the mausoleum. There's a lot of cool things. There's the Telmark Wilderness. I really like this area here. The Fisherman's Strand, I think it's what it's called, or something like that. Where you can see the floating tower and stuff that's like on the side there. We kind of skip over all of that in order to go here, and then we I don't know who we talked to Envoy Arrow. Are you with the Shining Blade? I come in peace bearing a message for them. I'm supposed to have dropped. No, this is not it. This is not it. Wait, what's the main? Is it this one? Or Brother's Fury? Yeah, it is. So Jessica Thomas's younger brother, Rynan, was killed supposedly by a gang of jungle-dwelling rebels. I don't put much stock in the rumors. How anyone could survive in that jungle is beyond me. Anyway, he's right over there, but I wouldn't disturb him if I were you, unless you're here to help track him down his brother's killers. So this is when we get to introduce to the rebel faction, quote unquote, the evil guys, and it's really cool. I love how they like twist that around. It's really nice. So yeah, so we're here in the pretty much the Maguma Waste, but we do have some jungle. I really love the dynamic when they were talking about going into the Maguma Jungle in Guild Wars 2, and they were talking about the different layers that we had, right? Where they put such an emphasis on it, which you can't. It really doesn't have that feel to it anymore. Maybe the ones in Tarier, maybe like Auric Basin, maybe around there you get a little bit of the feel. But they talked pre-Heart of Thorns. They talked about how there was like 3 levels to every map, where you have the canopy, the jungle canopy, right, and then you go down, and then you're on the jungle ground, and then you go into like these ravines where, like, you know, the vines and the evilnesses and all that stuff, right? They talked about like these different layers and stuff, and we really didn't get that. But in Guild Wars 1 you have these really cool layers to the Maguma Jungle, and I wish they would have done it this way, or at least have the Maguma Wastes feel that way, where Dry Top doesn't at all feel like that. And I love Dry Top. I think Dry Top is amazing map. It's beautiful. I love the meta event. I love like how all of it is structured. I really wish we would get another dry top map. I really like how the rewards are, how, you know, doing all the different events throughout the maps. Like, even if you're a solo player, you still help out the group as a whole. Like, I really like the concept of dry top with the sandstorm and stuff, but it doesn't have the feel of what Guild Wars 1's Maguma Jungle. Guild Wars 1's Maguma Jungle, I think, is another reason why ArenaNet, like, it really showcases that ArenaNet is really good at creating certain fantasy aspects of worlds. And you get to see it like right away as well. You have found nothing? Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir. I mean, you found some scraps of cloth. Cloth is scarcely the heads of those who killed my brother, is it? No, your grace. It's just that this fort is alive with spirits and plans and such that they could eat a grown fox. Ha! You mean to tell me something? He said something. I couldn't read all that. You aren't afraid of a few bushels of flowers. You there. So this guy is the guy that we were just talking about, and he wants to find his... do you know the tale of Kalos the No-Headed? If you don't, perhaps you should. It is one of justice, one my murdered brother loved to tell. Those who pursue will face a similar fate. May the unseen... Okay. What did you say? The heretic filth has continued long enough. I refuse to sit by while the confessor and his council discuss and debate. So yeah, so we're following pretty much this guy's brother was murdered, and we're just gonna go after the murderers, which are said to be... But yeah, so you get a first view like immediately, right? They have the jungle parts are in these valleys where the water is, right? They have the water throughout, so all the greenery is around it, and then you go up top and it becomes very barren. Dead trees up top, you know, and it's very like wastelandish, and you get this like cool dynamic between the different layers, right? Because I can go down there, right? If I walk over here, I can go down this tree trunk or whatever, and I could go down there and kill that Wind Rider and have this like cool experience of going down this jungle path, you know, to the other side of the map, with the vines hanging overhead and stuff. Or I could go down the barren path where it's like, you know, dead bushes and trees and all this stuff, and everything is like orangey in color, right? You have the contrast in color. It's really cool. I really love that concept. I think I really like that idea, because that tells me that, you know, because we're talking about like ancient, so, you know, I kind of like to combine the two things, like combine the idea of the Secrets of the Obscure with, hey, we might be seeing seers, right? Because we talk about the trailer. I mean, I've done 3 trailer analysis pretty much, like doing all these things, but I really am convinced that we're going to see seers. I really think that what is being shown in that concept art is a seer, and I've given my reasons as to why, but I think that it's really cool, like, because we talk about these ancient artifacts, right? A lot of these things, like I talked about the Scepter of Ore, and we talk about, you know, we have the Heart of the Obscure, and we have all these like magical aspects that are coming back into it, right? We talk about like the tower, the Wizard's Tower had like ancient artifacts in it and stuff. So it kind of makes me think that, you know, there's some kind of connection between the magical going on, like with the mists and stuff, and the seers, right? And it's like, so the seers, maybe they might have been like crafters of magical artifacts in order to defeat certain things. And I talked, was it this week or last week or something, about how I think there might have been a connect, like, why were the Mossad and the Seers at war, right? Because they talked about in the trailer and in the blog posts and stuff, they talked about like ancient wars, and they talk about like ancient rivalries even, and who had kind of a rivalry / ended up having a war. Well, that's kind of like the Mossad and the Seers, right? Because they were both like four-armed. No, they weren't. The Mossad aren't four-armed, but they're floaty magical creatures, right? They're like, you can compare them, and they did fight each other, right? They had a war, but why? Why did they have a war against each other? What was like really the reason? Like, it couldn't have just been simply because the Mossad were hiding because of the Elder Dragons. Like, that's not really an incentive for the Seers to say, hey, we're going to war with you, right? And was it really that the Mossad were just after the secrets of the Bloodstone and that type of stuff? Like, was that the only reason? I like to think that maybe there was something more behind there, and maybe it had something to do with the Mossad, like, you know, maybe the cryptas were involved in some way, and that the Mossad created this ability of phasing out of reality, not simply because of the Elder Dragons, but maybe because of the Mossad that are said to roam Tyria unseen, right? And it's like as well as like the Mossad, kind of in a similar way. Like maybe the Mossad got the ability of phasing out of reality from the cryptas, right? Maybe they had the same maybe they stole it from them, or maybe it was given to them. And I feel like maybe the seers were fighting against the cryptas, and maybe they were doing that somehow by creating different weapons for other people, and they were kind of like, maybe that was part of like the ancient, maybe there was an ancient war that was fought against the cryptas that we don't know. There's like no records about it. Maybe all of the records are being held within the wizard's tower because they don't want the word of the cryptas to get out or something. You know, there's a lot of different ways that they can weave it and have the shining blade be part of the like seer lore, in the terms of like, hey, we didn't just like create this and gave it to the shining blade, but there was a reason, right? It was to fight the Mossad and to fight like other beings that could phase out of reality, like the cryptas or something. I don't know. So I really do think there's interesting ways that they could weave this. Margaret Knights and Guild Wars 2 graphics. Yeah, unfortunately, Abaddon, I think Abaddon is, I don't, you know, people are, I think, hopeful that Abaddon might make a return. I think Abaddon is gone. I think Abaddon is gone, and I think that's why the Marganites are gone. Like, we didn't see any evidence of that. The little evidence that we saw were like in Cormia's library, and it was pretty much said that like, yeah, you know, there was like leftover, you know, those tentacles under the water in Cormius Library, like, are just left over from the Realm of Torment. I don't think we're going to see any of those things. While I do think it would be really cool to see a Marganite, there could be, you know, they talked about the Abaddon Fractal. You know, the Abaddon Fractal could come back at some point. We could see a return to the Abaddon Fractal, and those types of things. Could come back. So, you know, that's not out of the question that we might see Marganites at some point. You know, we could have a fractal where we take place in the fight where I talked about this recently, right? Where we see the gods fighting each other in the Crystal Sea in the background, like they're battling each other, you know, and they're these like, in maybe they're giant forms or something. They're these giant godlike creatures, and they're fighting Abaddon in the Crystal Sea, and we're part of the Marganites, and we're fighting against the forces of the gods, and we're like actually quote unquote the evil, right? We're kind of like the evil supporting Abaddon, and we end up you know, the fractal ends, because the fractal usually ends with like these magical explosions or these magical things that happen, right? And it's like we always have to escape before they happen, right? And it could be like, you know, Abaddon gets defeated, and you know, that explosion, you know, them forcing him into the Realm of Torment and locking him in there, could be that magical, like where the Crystal Sea turned into the Crystal Desert, right? That magical explosion could be the end of the fractal, like, and that would be really cool. But we could definitely see the Marganites in that sense, you know. Maybe not in their super demonic form or something. I don't know, maybe when they were still like humans, but we don't really know what they looked like back then. Everyone's dying. I'm dying. Everyone's dying. I need some help. Wait. Oh, I already summoned him. He's here. I didn't see his, oh, he's right there. Dodo died. That was rough. Really rough for no reason. I don't want many. Just make one Marganite bounty. Well, I guess. Oh my god, we're getting like completely obliterated right now. That's okay. According to Mossad lore tablets and Fire Isles, it was the Jotun and dwarves hid from the dwarves, while the seers stored magic. The Mossad and the Forgotten Fought Zaitin apparently have failed. Yeah, but then the Mossad, they hid as well, though, right? That was the whole. I know that I'm sure the you know, you're not wrong, but I'm saying like they also, because they had the phasing out of reality because they were hiding from the Elder Dragon. I'm sure there's somewhere that it says that. where they phased out of reality because they were trying to hide from the elder dragons. Like it says that somewhere, I'm sure. Shows the villagers. I'm gonna be right back. I really need a pee right now. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. So let me look at that real quick. And we also talked about the gods, right? We talked about how like Arachnia or whatever the name of that ancient god was, like, you know, um could we see a return of that? Like, could there be a fractal about that, or could there be something that deals with like I think the gods are a really interesting subject, and I think they can take the gods and the pantheon of the gods and like all that stuff and like really cool different like directions and stuff. Like look at this. I'm sorry, I'm like jumping from one thing to the other, but like look at this. So we slowly venture down this hill, right, from like all the crappy stuff, and we see like this is the like these are the druids' houses, right? The druids were said to like live in these little huts and stuff. And we go out this way, and then we get to like all the greenery. It's like really cool. It's like environmental storytelling. It's really cool. But yeah, um, um, see, because so even when you read about the Mersat, it says, for example, that the Mersat were exceptionally powerful spellcasters who had retained their magic despite the creation of the Bloodstone, having fled the world before its creation. Right, the Seers created the Bloodstone in order to take the magic of the world and seal it away so that the elder dragons couldn't access it, because they knew that, whoa, look at all this money. because they knew the elder dragons fed on magic. So they were trying to deprive them of the magic of the world. But why would the Mossad be like? It seems like there was like a reason why the Mossad were just kind of like, no, we don't want that. Maybe they said that. Maybe they were like that because they were like, no, the cryptas are around, and we need the magic to fight the cryptas or something, right? They could twist it in that way, where it's just kind of like, no, we kept our magic, or the Mossad kept their magic because of this reason, or something like that. I don't know. Uh, I had too, but it paints a more complex story of why they went to war with each other. In a way, is more realistic. You're just in an entire race because they. Well, and That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. Like there seems to be something more going on, because it says right here on the wiki. It says realizing the Elder Dragons to be too powerful a threat to defeat, the Elder races agreed to give their magic to the Seers, who would seal it within a bloodstone, starving the dragons. However, the Mossad had found a way to become invisible and to literally become out of phase with Tyria. Angered by the other races' refusal to help with them and the Forgotten against Zaitan and wishing to rule the world in their own image, the Mossad betrayed the other races and left them to rot, keeping their own magic and fleeing into Half-World. So, well, actually, that's not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the war from before. But so they phased out of reality because they were like, you know what? Because the Forgotten and the Mossad were the ones that attacked Zaitan and they failed. And then they were like, you know what? Fuck it, we're not gonna do it. But what does it say? The Elder Races. Let's see. The doors used in order to find stuff. The Forgotten and the Mossad fought and failed. Okay. See, it doesn't really talk about the relationship between the Seers and the Mossad. And I think there can be some, like... Really? Couldn't find anything? What books did we have there? I don't really remember what the books were that were there. Yeah, I don't even know what the books were that you're talking about. But yeah, I really think that they can do something really interesting and twist the Mossad and the Mossad and the Seer war in terms of like there was a third faction involved, which was the Cryptas or something. Do you guys see that? That's kind of weird. I just noticed there's like these floating like particles. The Wilds. We're here in the Wilds. The Chosen are following the Chosen. Hello. Does it say anything? No. Parable of Abaddon and other. It doesn't have that in the wiki? It really does not have them in there, huh? I'll read that in a second. It's so weird. I don't know what he said. No, it doesn't. I don't know what he said. No, it doesn't too. But those two specifically hated each other. There's something else going on that we don't know. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Final books are just called Masad Lord tablets. Yeah, but we're looking about the gods, right? You found it? Where did you find it? Yeah, it has all the pages in it, but it doesn't have any. It doesn't say anything about it. It doesn't actually. Doesn't actually. I have the book in my. I have the book in my bank, but it's like kind of a weird. Right? I'm sorry. I'm just reading the tablet thing. Hmm, interesting. But I typed that in and I couldn't find it. Or maybe maybe I think oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. Um, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna read all that. If there's anything interesting in there, let me know. I'm here on the authority of Confessor Dorian himself. Stay a moment and hear what I have to say. While Justicar Thomas's rage towards the heretics who slew his brother is understandable, we cannot afford to send scores of knights on a frontal assault into an unmapped jungle, all the while allowing the undead to march unchecked across the Kryta countryside. I will bear the burden of informing the Justicar that his forces are required for the defenses of Kryta. As for tracking these rebels into the wilds, I leave this matter in your hands. Numbers will not be on your side, but the unseen ones will watch over you. So, and can we like, why are you still here? Shouldn't you be tracking down the Shining Blade? Do you have something we need to discuss? What's all the commotion about? Justicar, Terran, and Rinnan have been murdered. So Terran was the one. Who was she? She was in the last cinematic, right? Yeah, she was in the one where she transported. She was the one that transported from Lomehurst into the Maguma jungle, and she was killed. They were leading the Chosen to the Temple of the Unseen when they were attacked. The White Mantle guards were all killed, and the Chosen were taken as hostages into the Terran and Rin are dead? Murdered in cold blood. Their caravan was attacked as they passed out of Lomehurst. Both men bravely gave up their lives defending the Chosen. Terran wasn't a man, though. I get. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird that they say men. It pains me to think of what the survivors must be going through right now. To watch their white mantle protectors killed, then to be taken captive. Those poor souls. What should have been the greatest day of their lives has been transformed into a living nightmare. Who are the Chosen? Don't you remember the divine eye of Genthier? You yourself administered the test. The eye identified those citizens with exceptional magical talent, those who someday may gain the true sight. They were being taken to the Temple of the Unseen. Why the Temple of the Unseen? To study under the Grand Masters, of course. The divine eye identified them as having the gift of true sight. The Chosen have the potential of one day becoming powerful mages, but one isn't just born into magic. They must train and refine their gifts if they want to someday realize their real power. Who would have done this? The Shining Blade, that's who. They call themselves revolutionaries, but there are no revolutionaries. The Shining Blade are nothing more than a godless bunch of bloodthirsty cowards. They hide from the light of truth deep within the Maguma jungle, coming out only to torment and harass the honest, law-abiding citizens of Kryta. Torment? Ooh. The Shining Blade live in the Maguma jungle? You could say that. They must have discovered a way to travel safely through the dangerous overgrown vegetation. No one has ever wanted to venture in there. The plants have a taste for blood, and its shadows are stalked by monstrous beasts. They say the spiders are twice the size of a man. I don't know about you, my friend, but even the thought of a spider that big makes me shake in my boots. What must I do? You must gather a group and head into the jungle to save the hostages and avenge the deaths of Terran and Rinnan. But you must move quickly. The Shining Blade already have a head start. If you don't get to the Chosen soon, there's no telling what might happen to them. I'm on my way. We're counting on you. We're so proud. So proud. We got this cute waterfall right there. Cute little waterfall. Cute little waterfall. Alright, let's find the Chosen, guys. Let's hunt the Chosen down. In the name of the White Mantle. See, when I first played Guild Wars 1, I never read any of the text. And if you don't read the interim text of the different characters and stuff, you like a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. You're just like, what? Why am I doing this now? That's very weird. Like this kind of still makes sense. Like we wouldn't really have to talk to her. It was just like kind of a review session for us. But yeah, it's just kind of. I need to sell shit. Look at all the stuff that I have. Holy crap. You got the jungle trolls here. Kind of weird how they have like little fins on them. Or big fins. I mean, those are big fins, but... Oh, they have fins, period. Or what looks like fins. They look like an aquatic race. Like, I know it's a jungle troll, but they look like... they'd be coming out of somewhere else. Da, 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 da. We get to see Ventari soon too, guys. Nice. Talk to everything, have updated dialogue. That's really nice. Yeah, that's very cool. I like stuff like that a lot, where they have like updated quest dialogue or something. They did a lot of that in core Guild Wars 2. There was a lot of like if you go into the missions and stuff, and you like finish like one step, they sometimes had like updated dialogue. It was very cool. I really like that a lot. We got more moss scarabs. Oh my good god. All these white mantle dudes are just dying. Or actually beside me, but it's a lot of work for such a thing. It definitely is. I mean, it's a lot of work to go in and write a text for every little story step, for every little character or whatever. And you know, it's but that's what makes a game like, you know, you can take that opportunity to add like little hints about other things going on and whatever, you know, depending on the mission, of course. But there's different ways that you can twist that and have like really cool little side info come out, you know, and you can build your world, you know, you can have a really cool world building that way. And only people that are like very invested in it will actually see how, like, what it's all about. I like that a lot. Oh, it's all voice acted as well. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's a lot of, you know, they obviously they have way more money, Bethesda, to do that. They have way more money to do that, but I do like when games do that. I do like that a lot. I was thinking about making a video kind of about, because remember how like last or on Tuesday we were kind of looking at different different like flesh reaver situations, like events and stuff, and I was kind of thinking about making a video about flesh reavers and cryptas and perhaps like a connection between the two. But I don't know. I don't know if there's really. I don't know if that's really that exciting or not. While we're still waiting for me to finish up my other video that I'm working on, which is like, no, never happening. I don't know. It's gonna happen at some point, but I just feel like it's never happening. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. It's a lot of work, but it's really cool that they have that. Oh my good god, we have all these like really powerful enemies here that are just healing each other. Stop healing each other. That's really cool. I like it a lot. Guild Wars 1 had like a huge variety in enemies. I mean, a huge variety of enemies. Which is kind of cool, you know, I like that, but a lot of different enemies. Really shows that I'm using henchmen versus using like heroes, because oh my god, these henchmen. Holy crap. You know, we talked in the short that released on Friday. We had you know, it does talk, like you can talk to these characters and they talk about how like the AI was just like really crappy. How the AI is really crappy in Guild Wars 1 with the henchmen and stuff. It's really cool that they addressed that, or that they didn't address, but they talked about it, you know. Venturing through the Maguma jungle. Ooh, we got some centaurs here, guys. Centaurs. Oh. Oh, we get to see them like build that little vine bridge or whatever, yeah. We're like, oh my god, are you serious? That was also not something that they brought that back for Dry Top, but they didn't bring that back for like the Maguma jungle. Like actually in the Maguma jungle, like it would have been kind of cool to have more vine bridges and stuff in the Maguma jungle that we build through using seeds like that. Um. Also, will the alternative realities and things here they could show reality where Char won over humans or where Ra wasn't destroyed and such. But I mean, I don't know. It's a little different. I really think that, you know, when we talk about distorted worlds, like we're not gonna see whole maps that are completely different, right? We're gonna see like I think what they mean by distorted worlds is that we're gonna see, like you said, like a reuse of assets, where we're gonna see maps where they use assets from like Quarteria, End of Dragons, Path of Fire, you know, Icewood Saga, like all the stuff like mixed together. Like we're gonna see that stuff. I don't think we're gonna see actual like snippets in time where like the world was different or something like that. Like I don't think we're gonna see that. I think that's one thing that they've really highlighted with all the different pictures and stuff. We're really just gonna see oh, my pet is there. I was just like I didn't see him. I think that's we're just gonna see like different assets being used on the map where like we're gonna see, like I said before, we're gonna see corals from the from like ore and like a setting of Cantha, and we're gonna see like there's some forged stuff, you know, whatever, Elona stuff right next to Quarteria stuff or whatever. Like that's what we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see like completely changed worlds where history was different and things like that. I don't think we're gonna see that. Is that completely out of the question for like future releases? Absolutely not. You know, we could be going through the mist and we could be seeing like other realities, but like I said, I would like to see like I would like to see other places. I don't want to see what ifs. I want to see other places on Tyria, and other places in the mist that are like that have nothing to do with the stuff that we're dealing with. I want to see new things. I don't want to see a rewritten Ascalon where like, you know, the chart took over, or the Char never won or something, where the humans won against the Char. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't think I really care for that too much. Like, I want to see new things. And I know that asks a lot because that would be like new assets and would be new things or whatever. I just think like the time traveling stuff and alternate realities is a little iffy. I think there's some iffy stuff to do there, because then we're like back to the cycle of like reusing assets, and I don't think it's gonna feel fresh enough if we have maps like that. Oh, this is a healer. I should really defeat him first. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, exactly. Like 100% that. 100%. I would love to see the ancient capital of the Quaggan, palace, like the remains of the palace of the Quaggans. I want to see like the underwater cities of the Largos. I want to see beyond the other, you know, we know that like all the way to the side over here, you know, there's like other continents. Like I want to see who's out there. I want to see other civilizations. I want to see other people. Like we're so free of everything that Guild Wars 2 ever was, you know, where it's like, oh, we have to talk about Guild Wars 1 stuff, and we have to talk about all these you know, the three continents. Like we have to go there because, you know, the Guild Wars 1 fans want to see that, and you know, we already have like a basis of like creating a lore there, and we don't need to but I want them to go somewhere completely new. I want them to do new things, new stuff, and like I said before, I want them to kind of jump back and forth. I want them to do one expansion where they fill in the holes, you know, where we talked about like, you know, different maps that they can do in Quarteria and Path of Fire. Like I would like to see Mittani Keys and stuff come back with their own little story and stuff there. Like but then for the next expansion, go somewhere completely new and kind of jump back and forth, right? So we get a little bit of like, you can reuse old assets, but then we get something fresh the next expansion. And then you go back to like reusing old assets and then going back to the new expansion, like to new things. Like I kind of want them to jump back and forth between the two things and get a mix of both, right? It's like one expansion, I want them to go back and redo core maps and kind of make the maps look better, or maybe redo some events, maybe redo some world bosses or whatever, right? And then for the next expansion, boom, I want them to like show us like underwater Largo cities. Like, you know, I want them to, they don't always have to do new things and they don't always have to do old things, but kind of do like jumping back and forth between the two is like the perfect opportunity right now, because we have these isolated expansions that have like nothing to do with each other, so they can do that. They can do one expansion here and one expansion there, so that we don't get tired of constantly seeing reused assets all the time, even for new maps. You know, we kind of see new stuff as well, and that kind of would be like every 2 years we get new things, and every 2 years we get some reused older stuff. You know, and they don't always have to create everything new for the new expansions, but keep the reusing stuff to like a minimum. That's what I would like to see. I think that's feasible. I think it's something that's, you know, I try to think about like, is that feasible for ArenaNet as a studio? Is that something that with like currently how everything is going, is that something that they can do? And I think they can. I think they can. I'm thoroughly in the belief that they can definitely do that. And I might be the only one. I don't know. I'm with you. Yeah. If your player base is asking for what if scenario, it suggests that your main narrative decisions are not as intriguing and your setting is not as rich. The problem is that the setting isn't the issue. I just think that we don't have anything to go off of. People are grasping at straws because we don't have any information of what to expect. Like, that's the thing. The story, we don't know at all where the story is. Like, do we know anything about the story? We know absolutely zero about the story. We know the cryptos are invading, and we know we're going to be dealing with, like, the Astral Ward. That's it for the story of Secrets of the Obscure. It's really that they keep so much hidden from us that people are just like, well, maybe we'll do this, or maybe we'll be going there, or maybe we'll be doing this. But it's because we're not getting any of that transparency that they talk about, that people are coming up with all these different scenarios. So I don't think necessarily, like, I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong, but I'm saying like the narrative is clearly there, but it's like we don't know what it is. We're literally with our last like, we always had the last release kind of led into what to expect, right? We had season 2, we had a big trailer for what to expect for Heart of Thorns. So, and then we had blog posts every week talking about what's happening in this jungle. So we literally, they were like, here's the narrative, here's what we're building, here's what's going on, right? They did the same with Path of Fire, because season 3 ended with a trailer of going into the desert, seeing all these things, right? And then they released the video, the 30 minute long video talking about the mounts, talking about like, you know, where we're going, what we're doing. They showed assets, they showed different things, they talked about the story, they talked about like, this is what Balthazar is doing, blah, 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 blah. This is what's going on. This is where you're going into the desert. And we could imagine, right? We could imagine, because we have been in the Meguma jungle. We have been to Elona. So we can kind of imagine where we're going to go and what we're going to do. Who are the characters that we're going to see? How they might twist some of the story. You know, we heard about Palawa Joko taking over Elona before. We've heard all of that, right? Same going into Icebreath Saga. Like, we had a huge announcement, and I kind of talked, you know, we had this trailer and they talked about what they're doing, you know, and season 4 and it ended with Oreen becoming Elder Dragon, but we knew that story was kind of going on, like it hadn't ended. We knew that, hey, we're still dealing with other dragons. We're now dealing with Primordius and or Jormak specifically at first, right? And we're going into that, so we knew, okay, this is what's kind of coming with Icebreath Saga, you know. With End of Dragons, it was the same thing. You know, End of Dragons, were like, okay, well, here's a teaser trailer that shows all of Cantha, and you know, Kunavang is back, and then, you know, they show like the trailers for it showed like different places and stuff. And again, we could imagine, oh, okay, we're gonna be journeying, you know, from Saitong, from the Saitong province, from Xingji Island. Like we go through the rest of Kantha, and we're, you know, the dragon cycle is coming to an end, right? They showed some of the characters. They showed Rama and they showed Yao, you know, in the trailer and stuff. So we could kind of imagine, oh, those characters are gonna play a part and stuff. But it's like, what does the what does the Secrets of the Obscure trailer really tell us about anything? Like, we don't even know. We know Zoja's coming back, but we don't even know any other characters that are in there. Are we gonna deal with this Scarran? Is the Scarran gonna be in it? We don't know. Like, what are the where are the maps even located? We don't even know. Do they incorporate any locations that we have seen before? Like, is there something that kind of, we don't know. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what the story even entails. We know that demons are invading Tyria. Okay, cool. Like, it's just, okay, you've established the enemy faction, and what they want to do, they want to feed on negative emotions to power themselves and take over the world. Okay, cool. Like, but it's like, it leaves us with nothing, with absolutely nothing, that I think the people that are wanting cool things to happen and are wanting to go to these places, or that are, you know, they're the ones that are coming up with all these ideas and grasping at all these different straws, because we haven't gotten any information. That's what I was talking about earlier. You know, when you look at the other announcements of all the other things we've seen so far, there's been way more information than like, hey, yeah, there's the enemy faction. That's the enemy faction. Like imagine we had gotten a trailer with for Path of Fire that said that we're going into the desert and there's forged enemies, and that's it. Like, we're going into the desert and we're going to the forged enemies. Like, that's pretty much the information that we got. Like, and it's like, okay, but what are we doing in the desert? Like none of the Balthazar stuff even happened. Like, because we didn't get anything that leads us to the cryptas. Like, we got Kanaxai, but as far as they have told the story, Kanaxai has been long dead. 250 years Kanaxai has been dead. So he's not going to be part of that, right? They show us who the big bad is, probably. We don't even know. They show us this guy in front of a rift, and we're like, that's the big bad. Is it the big bad? We don't know. It could just be a lieutenant of the actual big bad. We don't know that, though, right? They don't, like, before Path of Fire came out, we knew who the big bad was, right? We knew that, like, hey, the big bad was going to be Balthazar, right? We knew that that's who we're going after, right? There was like a goal. There was like something that we were striving to do, right? We were searching after Balthazar. We were coming after Balthazar. And that was, you know, that's what the expansion led up to. You know, it was Heart of Thorns is like Mordramoth. We were going to attack Mordramoth, and that failed, but we're still going to attack Mordramoth. You know, that's still in there, right? That's still what we were doing. But we don't have that with Secrets of the Obscure. That's kind of why I feel this advertisement, this hinting at things, this is, it's leaving all of us very anxious and very just like, you know, what is happening? What are we even doing? We don't even know what we're doing. Like, you know, we're leaving behind all the other people. We're going to a location we've never been to. We're not dealing with anything dragon related, so we have nothing to really go off of and even like think about how the story's gonna go. You know, the only thing Heart of Thorns disappointed me with was masteries when Colin was talking about them on stage. Yeah, they made them sound so much more like they talk about the different languages that we would learn, about how we would learn to talk to the Itzel and the Nuhawk, but it's pretty much just like, oh yeah, earn events and you can now buy whatever rewards, right? It's just like buying a reward tier kind of thing. And it didn't exactly feel like, hey, we learned the language of the Itzel, because in the story you're talking to the Itzel, like right in the beginning of Heart of Thorns, you're talking to the Itzel and you're dealing with them. So it's like, how are we learning the language of the Itzel if we're already dealing with them? That was very strange, right? That was very, very weird. I imagine it like this: when you talk to the Itzel without Ixil language, you hear some weird sounds or mumbling, and after mastery, you talk to normal English. You know what I imagined it to be? The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Do you guys remember how, like, in the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, we didn't, like, they spoke like ancient Hyrulean? Some of the, like, you had the whale guy, I forgot his name, you know, and the Deku Tree, and they spoke this ancient Hyrulean language, and you had to, like, find the letters or something throughout in order to, like, decipher what they were saying. Like, that's what I was imagining. I was imagining them like you talk to them and you have this weird language pop up in your screen, and depending on how far you are in the mastery, you could read more of the message. Like, more letters would become untangled, and you would have to, like, and you could kind of read between the lines on some of the stuff, but you would slowly figure out what they're saying to you, right? And then if you fully figure it out, you then know, like, oh, you need to go there to find a treasure there, or oh, there's something hidden here, or something like that. Like, that's what I'm imagining was going to be happening. Mainly can do great content. Look at season 4. We got 6 maps, ton of story, and almost quality expansion. The Golden Age. Yeah, I agree. Even season 3. I think season 3 was really good too. Season 3 had, like, even, like, legendary weapons and stuff. I think season 4, when people talk about, like, the Golden Age season 4, I kind of disagree. And I might be the only person. I think the Golden Age of Guild Wars 2 was season 3 to Path of Fire. That. Because when I look at some of the season 4 maps, they feel like, specifically the Korna maps feel very bland. Like, there's not a lot going on. The Jahai map feels a little, like, iffy. There's not a lot to do. Like, how many times do you go back to Jahai, really? Or how many times do you go back to the domain of Korna, right? I think the domain of Korna, specifically, like, that map is very lackluster and very, like, you know, we have, like, I talked about the Gandera thing, which, is that part of, no, there's 2 different maps, right? Because I'm thinking about, no, that's one map that I'm thinking of, Domain of Korna, yeah. Where it's like, you know, you have the little swamp where the High Lake live, and there's nothing to do. The whole swamp area and the whole northern part of the map, there's, like, nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing out there. There's just some enemies hanging out. You know, there's, like, the Choyas dancing, but there's, like, nothing to do out there. So some of the maps kind of felt, and like I said, Gandera was cut short. I really imagine Gandera to be this really cool thing where you could explore it and go throughout the cities and actually go to the Plaza of the 5 Gods, which was, like, the center of Gandera and stuff, and kind of, like, relive your assault on Gandera from Guild Wars 1 a little bit, but it didn't feel like that at all, in my opinion. And it felt very lackluster, so that was definitely one release that I wasn't okay with. So to me, season 3 and Path of Fire was a little bit more, because we got legendary weapons, you know, that dealt with the, like, I don't know, it felt a little bit better to me, the way that stuff. I think Arena missed the opportunity with the Heart of the Obscure. Instead of using a new MacGuffin, we could have been using the Staff of the Mist to close Rift. Well, we destroyed the Staff of the Mist. Okay, so in Guild Wars 1, we did destroy the Staff of the Mist. That is, like, canon in Guild Wars 1, that we destroyed the staff. But there's still the Scepter of Ore, which is the sister staff to it's the sister staff to the Staff of the Mist, right? So we could have used that, and I'm sure there's, like, other things that they could have created. I just hope that they do something cool with the Heart of the Obscure. I hope that they kind of say, like, you know, because we talked about the Shining Blade. I hope that maybe they say, like, oh yeah, the Heart of the Obscure is a device that was created by the Seers, and they're kind of, like, similar in a way that, like, the Shining Blade is, like, this this artifact or this relic or whatever they use to attack someone that can phase out of reality, whereas you have the Heart of the Obscure to use, like, to close these rifts where these enemies are appearing from. Oh my god, we're full. We're so full right now. We got an air wand, which is, like, garbage. An air wand that has energy, so it has air magic requirement, +4 while hexed energy, and then you get half casting time of water spells, 19% chance. Great, love it. Oh, we're at the end here, guys. We're meeting the Shining Blade. Yay! The Man of Korna sucks, but Jahai is great. Jahai isn't bad. I like Jahai because there's stuff happening in all the different corners, you know, and there's different like things happening. Like the Jin thing is independent of like what the like meta event is with the Shatterer, and the Shatterer is like kind of isolated in its own area and stuff. I do like that. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and there's some cool ambient dialogue that you can get, like walking around the different, like there's a crash packed airship and you can get some cool story there. And then they have the city, like I think they did a good job with Jahai. Jahai is pretty good. It's one of those theme park maps, but it's good. Theme park maps aren't always bad. I'm not a huge fan of them, but they aren't always bad. The Chosen. Ah.
You there. You can chase us through the jungle later. But if you have even a shred of decency in your
Avenia,
heart, I
guys.
beseech you, help us save the Chosen.
Corpse. He's all dead. All corpses. Oh, wait. No, one is alive. There's Avenia, guys. Love her to death. Really wish we get some Avenia story, man. If Avenia appears, I will shit myself. If Avenia appears in Secrets of the Obscure, I will literally die on the spot. Like, that's the end. Done. No more videos, no more lore talk. I'll die on screen. I'll just, you know, live as it goes out, I'll be like, and that's the end. That's how I went. I got tears in my eyes when we got the Sunsphere Sanctuary. I did too. It was a really cool. I really like that release. I really like that we got that. I just, like I said, I just played today. I'm playing Nightfall, and I just got to the Sunsphere Sanctuary, and I had to like do all the different quests to build it up, the outposts and stuff outside with the armors and the like different things where you can buy different stuff. Oh man, so good. It was for antiquities and it was made by Alids. Okay.
You have exactly 10 seconds to explain yourselves before we run you through.
Perhaps it is you who needs to be doing the explaining.
What are you going to do to us?
I don't know what to make of you. You're not typical White Mantle, as evidenced by your bravery and willingness to help save the Chosen. Had you not shown up when you did, we might have lost them after all.
Lost them? You weren't trying to get them killed?
What did you think? That we liberated the Chosen from the murderous Mantle only to feed them to the spiders? Nothing could be farther from the truth.
Then what were you doing?
Rescuing them from the Mantle, that's what. The spiders were a miscalculation.
I don't trust them, Avenia.
Oh, shut up, Marcus.
Simple.
I can see that, Marcus. But something tells me if they see for themselves what the White Mantle really do to the Chosen, they'll have a change of heart about their masters.
What are you saying? That you mean to let them go?
Yes, Marcus. That's exactly what I mean to do. Who knows? Once they've seen the Bloodstone, they may end up being valuable allies.
This is a mistake, Avenia.
Maybe it is. If my hunch about you is correct, then you'll head to Bloodstone Fen.
Bloodstone
The truth
Fen,
about
yo.
the Mantle will reveal itself, and you will be faced with a difficult decision.
Avenia is so cool. She's such a badass, dude. So I don't know exactly about the series. We got this device for antiquities and it was made by Alids. Are you just drawing comparison as to like you hope that that is how they handle the Heart of the Obscure? Is that why we're mentioning that? Season 3 had its issues, mainly the Crack in the Ice release. Yes, Bitterfrost farming was way too OP and the story was definitely rushed. But yeah, Journal Season 3 was consistent. Yeah, I liked it, and I like the idea, you know, I like the idea of like going to different areas, right? Season 4 kind of did it too, right? Because we got like Sandswept Isle, and then the domain of Istan and Korna and Jahan. Like they're all like a little bit different each time we went somewhere, you know. Thunderhead Peaks, like You know, we got some snow, we got a rainy, watery map, we got a, you know, we got a couple of desert maps, and we got like one desert map, and it had like, you know, it was like just a throwback to Guild Wars 1 and stuff. You know, we did get some different areas, but I really like the idea of like just getting really different areas of the world. Like I just like that, you know. I just a lot of season 3 felt like what they're trying to do with the expansion now, where it like had like the self-contained stories a little bit, and we hopped around and we got a little bit of lore about this stuff here, like the Coden and you know, Bitterfrost Frontier. We got some lore about the spirit of fire, right, and the different, you know, those ancient spirits that they have, right. And then we got, you know, we got Bloodstone Fen, which had to do with the White Mantle, and then we got like Lake Doric, which had like more White Mantle, but there was a little bit of Kryta, you know, like other things in Kryta. And you know, then we got Siren's Landing, which was like ore, you know. It's like I like that. I like that we got like different things, because it always felt very fresh. Like every time we got a new release for season 3, I was always excited, like where are we gonna go? What, you know, and I remember them releasing like pictures beforehand of like, here's a picture, this is, you know, maybe that tells you where we're going or something like that. I remember the Siren's Landing, like they released the loading screen for it, and people were like, oh my god, we're going back to ore. Like people called it immediately, even though you can't really tell that you're going back to ore, but it's like people were like, oh my god, we're going back to ore, right? And it's just like there's something exciting about going to like different places of the world, but still having like an overarching story, so to say. Like there was kind of an overarching story that went through, you know. And that's what I'm hoping they're doing with Secrets of the Obscure and beyond, right? The other expansions that are coming. That's what I imagine them to be doing. I'm just gonna sell all of these things. I don't really give a shit. Materials, I'm just gonna put in material storage, but poisonous longbow. Oh, I did look at that. We're gonna be looking at different weapons as we get to like higher level stuff. Yeah, I don't care. Except that, and then we can also sell those. Because right now, while we're not level 20, it doesn't really matter what we do. All right. And let's deposit these. It's not like Astrolord made in some afternoon tea party. Yeah, I hope they create some interesting lore behind it as well. How much gold do I have? Okay. I want them to do something fun with it too. All right, there we go. Deposit these in there. All right, Julio. We enter the mission, so now we're in the Bloodstone. So again, it ends over here. Does it end? Where does it end? Because we come... I don't know where the end is. It's like somewhere over here, right? Like that's the camp that we go. I think it's like right there where the trees are. That's where the mission ends, and then we get bloop teleported. I always hate when they do that. I was like, okay, but we can talk to Brayden over here. Do not let the truth frighten you. Only by keeping an open mind. Jesus, can we ever overcome true adversity? What can I help you? You just keep your hands where I can see them. I know that you don't trust us yet. I don't blame you, but you'll see. The White Mantle are not your friends. They persecute the Chosen because they believe the Flameseeker prophecies will come true. Why should I believe you? You don't have to. You will see with your own eyes. The Mantle claimed to take the Chosen to study under the Grand Masters at the Temple of the Unseen. But the Chosen never make it to the temple, and none of them are ever heard from again. It is called the Temple of the Unseen. Very funny, but all you need to do is open your eyes and you will see plenty. The Temple of the Unseen is on the southwest shore of Kryta. There are many well-traveled roads that lead right up to its gate. Yet the Mantle leads the Chosen into Maguma Jungle, far to the northwest of where they claim to be taking them. Don't you wonder why? I'll tell you. The White Mantle lead them out to the Bloodstone and cut them down in cold blood. They murdered the Chosen and trapped their souls inside magical statues. That's absurd. Why would the White Mantle do that? The Flameseeker prophecies talk about those with the true side rising up against the their unseen oppressors. The Mantle believes these prophecies and think this means the Chosen will rise up against the unseen gods. They actually think we're going to kill their gods. As far as what they do with the trapped souls, I couldn't tell. I'd like to find out myself. Whatever it is they use them for, it can't be good. So why kill the Chosen? That's exactly what I'm telling you. What must I do? Track the White Mantle as they make their way to the Bloodstone with another group of Chosen. They have a good lead. They have a good lead on you, so you'll need to find a shortcut through the jungle, or you'll be. So the shortcut they're talking about is like finding the vines or whatever. So we're here in like this cool little camp they have. I really love this. I really love the idea that these old trees and stuff were made, like these vines and stuff that we have here were made like more by Mordramoth 10,000 years ago, right? Because like Mordramoth, you know, right down here is where Mordramoth sleeps. We know this, right? And you know, the jungle was probably created by it, but because it's not awake anymore, it couldn't sustain itself, so they ended up like drying out and dying and whatever, because it's actually like a very arid sea. But I'd like to think these vines were like made by the by Mordramoth, so it's kind of cool to think about. I wonder why it's called the Heart of the Obscure, based on the leaked. Oh, chat disconnected. Hello. See. I don't know if I'm still alive or not. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Let me check real quick. Something is going on and I don't know what it is. Let's see if I'm actually still alive. Hello, am I live? I can't see chat, so this kind of sucks. Let's turn this on. Okay, so I can't see chat anymore. Unable to connect. Please try again later. Okay. I'm gonna have to respond to chat, guys, on my phone. But I can read it. I wonder why it's called the Heart of the Obscure. I'm still alive though. Yeah, I'm still alive. So I don't know what's going on. My internet has been very iffy. Like, not my internet, but my computer has been very iffy about my internet. So, but that's okay. As long as we're still live and as long as we can still play, I'm okay with that. So it says, I wonder why it's called the Heart of the Obscure. Based on the leaked Zoja's dialogue, there's not much known about the relic itself. So then who and why did they name it that? That's a great question. See, another thing that leans into like we're gonna come up with all these theories, all these like things. Like, we don't know the origin, we don't know how it even ties into the story because we don't even know the story, you know. And it's like we're gonna have to find out when it releases, because I mean, I could come up with a billion different things. Like I said, it could be, it could be a seer artifact, it could be a Mersart artifact, it could be any of that, right? Mordramoth was the best dragon because it was showed how a whole pack fleet destroyed Sylvari go bad. Also, you see those pulsing vines at the and everywhere, showing that's Mordramoth, and that's just and it's not just a dragon, but the whole jungle itself. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of Mordramoth. The problem, you know, I liked the. So because they always talked about how, because we didn't talk to we didn't talk to Zaitan, right? There was Zaitan. Like, I love the idea that they always created some way for us to communicate with the dragons in a way that kind of fit the lore of the dragons, because the elder dragons were said to be like the forces of nature and stuff, and they were supposed to be like these mindless, like, just, you know, they're here to devour magic and they're just here to destroy the world kind of thing and whatever, right? But I liked with Mordramoth that it kind of like, it was like, well, it's the dragon of mind, right? That's like his thing, so he could speak to us, and it's more, you know, it has like the ability to communicate and talk. But yeah, at the same time, it's like it is a force of nature because it is the jungle itself. Like, that is definitely really cool, and I really like that idea. So I don't know how I can like, can I refresh chat or something? Oh, oh wait. Wonder if it'll let me do that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's not letting me even refresh my I want to look at something real quick. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Let me look at something real quick. Um. I don't know. Yeah, it's not letting me even do the chat right now. So, kind of weird. But that's a-okay. That's a-okay. Alright, so there's Saedra and she... Oh, there's the Bloodstone, guys. That's Bloodstone Fen. That's the Bloodstone and Bloodstone Fen right there, guys. That's what we see in Guild Wars 1, or Guild Wars 2 Shattered. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks. Give me the seed flower thingy. Is there like another one that I can take? No. Alright, she says, if you're looking for a rider, he's gone ahead to the Bloodstone down in that clearing. The Mantle are taking the Chosen there right now. You'll need this if you want to catch up. Drop it on the glowing circle to grow the bridge. And we did. We did do that. We did indeed do that. I think I'm going to finish up this this mission, guys, and I'm going to head out because it's already like after midnight now. So... I need to see my, I can't see my abilities because my phone is sitting right in front of it. Yeah. Whoa. I always hate when there's like things that just pop up, pop into the screen. Oh, more Devourers. We love Devourers. Love, love, love them. I'll be doing more of this tomorrow. I'm honestly just trying to get through Guild Wars 1. You know, and I want to play as much of it as I can because I'm trying to get through a lot of it before Seekers of the Obscure comes out, and we only have like 2 weeks left pretty much before Seekers of the Obscure. But yeah, also if you guys want to become members, you can. There's just like a little join button. You get little cool badges if you're wanting to support the channel. And also we have a merch store, which at some point I will buy some more merch off of. I haven't gotten any of myself yet. So I want to get some more of those. And then, yeah, I don't know. Shorts are coming out every Friday. I'm still planning on doing that. Oh, is it not working? Am I not live? What's happening? I think you guys can't see the gameplay. Is that what's happening right now? Yeah, you guys can't see the gameplay. So I think I'm gonna add the... Yeah, I'm trying to... Okay. I'm gonna end the stream here. because you guys, I don't think you guys, I don't know if you guys can see me or hear me. The first hero point and verdant bring at the bottom and the guild hall one. That's a good question. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here, guys, because something's going on with my internet. Something's going on with my computer. It's not updating the gameplay for you guys, even though I'm still playing the game. So I'm gonna end the stream here, just because it seems kind of silly, doesn't it? So I'll be back tomorrow. I mean, we did get 3 hours out of it, but yeah. So I'll be back tomorrow, guys. We'll do this mission tomorrow. And we'll talk some more about Secrets of the Obscure and other things. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, there's a merch store if you guys want to become members, if you guys want to join, if you guys want to buy stuff on the merch store, any of that stuff, you can do that. And you have a Twitter or Discord if you guys want to reach me. All that stuff is down in the description. And I'll see you guys next time.